Things are gonna get crazy!
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past. And here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
Welcome to a very special episode of Animat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. I hope that you all had a magical weekend. I know I have, because it was a very exciting time. In fact, it was the D23 Expo. Yes, it was back with all new major announcements of what's going to be coming from the Walt Disney Company in 2023 and in 2024. But of course, on this episode, I know that I cannot do this alone. Yes, I got a very special guest star with me, and he is back. Yes, this is a recurring guest star, because I know that when it comes to something like this, considering I'm going on an epic Disney adventure, I know I gotta bring in my Disney partner with me. So please welcome back the animator extraordinaire, Logan Miller from the YouTube channel Toucan LDM. Logan, what's up, my dude?
Oh boy. I wish I could do a Mickey Mouse impression, but my voice is so deep for that the most I can do is just like screech. Oh! Yeah, no, I'm not even going to attempt that. Oh boy!
Yeah, no, you said.
No, thank you again for having me on board.
No problem. No, actually, that's a very accurate Mickey Mouse impression. After Walt Disney had some damage on his lungs from his from the cigarettes. Have you ever heard of Walt? Did you ever hear Walt Disney when he tried to voice Mickey Mouse during the Mickey Mouse Club?
Oh yeah,
it's exactly
I know
like
what that sounds like.
It's exactly like that.
Oh, howdy, kids! Welcome to the Mickey Mouse Show.
That's it, man. You nailed it right there.
Hey, if you want that impression for one of your videos, you know the call.
Exactly. So, Logan, how was your weekend, by the way?
Honestly, it was all right. I mean, besides D23, of course, it was just, I pretty much relaxed for the most part, mainly because I can keep track what's happening with D23. But yeah, try to like keep it up and relax, and yeah, nothing too crazy besides all that. But how are you?
Doing pretty good.
How was your weekend?
Oh my God, it's been crazy. It was like handling so many things in my life at the same time, doing the Pinocchio review, having one of my friends' birthday parties, having like some family time, and also prepping up for this podcast. So it's all been crazy. And for me, this is the grand finale of my weekend, technically.
Whoop, whoop.
Exactly. So, without further ado, Logan, I would like to ask you, are you ready for the D23 episode of Animat's Crazy Cartoon Cast?
Let's do this! Yes, I'm ready.
All right, awesome. Now, chat wall, are you ready for today's episode? Let me hear it, folks. Let's see. Yes. Oh boy, everyone is ready. Everyone is set for this. And without further ado, let's get the magic started. And for our first panel that we're going to do, yes, instead of stories, I'm going to go and call them panels in honor of D23, just to keep up with the theming. Our first panel that we're going to look into, we're going to go and talk about all the movies and the special projects that are going to be happening, specifically in regards to the live action works. Now, we're going to go and begin with one of the first major panels that have been revealed, specifically the one for Walt Disney Pictures. And the first thing that they have presented is actually a brand new logo, because the big theme about D23 is to go and celebrate next year, which is going to be the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company. And with that special occasion, they decided to go and make a brand new studio logo, in which it has been leaked online, but it has since been removed. But recently they have actually confirmed that it will make its public debut on Strange World, which that's going to be coming out at the end of November on American Thanksgiving. Now, what they have presented there, they began with 2 trailers for some long anticipated sequels that are going to be coming to Disney Plus. The first of which is going to be Hocus Pocus 2, which that is coming out at the end of this month in September. And they also presented a trailer for Disenchanted, which not only gave us our first public look at the movie, but they've also confirmed that it is going to be coming out later this year on November 24th. Next up, the final thing that Walt Disney Pictures has revealed in terms of Disney Plus content is actually going to be the live-action remake of their 1953 classic Peter Pan, which in this case is called Peter Pan and Wendy, and they have confirmed that it is going to be coming out next year in 2023. Next up, foolish mortals, we're gonna head down to the big screen and talk about The Haunted Mansion, in which they talked with director Justin Simien, to which he has revealed that early on, before his career really started, he actually worked at Disneyland. And not only have they confirmed that Jamie Lee Curtis and Jared Leto are going to be in the movie playing as Madame Leota and the Hatbox Ghost respectively, but they also made a massive promise that the movie will be filled to the brim with Easter eggs and many different cameos. So the 999 Happy Haunts will have their moment to shine on the big screen. On top of revealing that there will be some celebrities that will appear in the feature, including Winona Ryder and Dan Levy. And that movie, I believe, is going to be coming out in March of 2023. Next up, they have talked about some of the bigger live-action remakes, one of which being Mufasa the Lion King. And this one is actually going to be a prequel to the 2019 Lion King remake, which will be directed by Barry Jenkins. And in this prequel, apparently Rafiki, Timon, and Pumbaa are going to tell you the story of Mufasa and his rise to power, which made him the king of the Pride Land. Then afterwards, we got Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler, who appeared on stage to talk about the remake of Snow White, which they have confirmed is going to be coming out in 2024. And on top of that, not only have they mentioned that it will be directed by Mark Webb, but they will be featuring some new original songs by Pasek and Paul. And then finally, what could be the biggest, most talked about, and the most anticipated Disney live-action remake is going to be The Little Mermaid, in which Disney put out a teaser trailer and giving us a little bit of a hint of, give us a little bit of a clue what's going to be Ariel's grotto, what's that going to look like, and a bit of a taste of Halle Bailey's performance for Part of Your World, in which at D23 she actually did perform the entire song, in which she received a massive standing ovation. And I believe from there, that should be it with the Walt Disney Pictures portion of the live action movies. Oh, and there is one more thing I would like to go and mention, and that is actually regarding in another panel in which it celebrated the 30th anniversary of Muppets Christmas Carol. They have confirmed that the extended edition, which includes the long lost, recently discovered song When Love Is Gone, will be included, and that is actually going to be released on Disney Plus on December 11th at the exact same time as the Muppets Christmas Carol's 30th anniversary. So with these announcements, Logan, I would like to have your thoughts on this.
Alrighty. There's a lot to take in. So we'll start from the beginning with Hocus Pocus 2. Surprisingly, I'm just even though I was aware of Hocus Pocus for years, my first time actually watching the first one was literally 2 years ago. And it's
Really?
mainly because I know it's surprising, isn't it? And it's not like I have like it's one of those films I was like interested in watching, but I haven't got the chance to get around to it. But hey, now with Disney Plus, I can finally get a chance to sit down and watch it, and I like it. Yeah, I can definitely see the appeal, like why people really like this, and I'm definitely curious to know where they're going to take the sequel. My only concern about this, and this might be like me like overthink. I don't want to predict this, but something tells me like they're going to try to make the Sanders sisters good at the end. I'm hoping they don't go that route, but knowing the live action Disney movies nowadays, I'm sure they're going to go with that route, which I'm hoping not. But overall, I feel like this could be like a really fun movie overall. We'll just have to
Yeah.
wait and see.
Yeah, for me personally, I grew up with Hocus Pocus, and for me, it's a personal Halloween favorite of mine. And watching this, I'm not expecting this to be anywhere great, but it does seem like a good nostalgic comeback to see the Sanderson sisters doing what they do best. And it looks like they're going to go and explore a bit more of the lore of the Sanderson sisters, even some of their origins and stuff like that. But then, of course, like you see some of the fun things that do happen. And I will admit, I got it did get me a major laugh seeing one of the Sanderson sisters flying on two freaking Roombas. Like that, I gotta admit is funny.
Yeah, that's definitely like going the modern route, which is good in a good way. Because if you go back and watch Hocus Pocus, it's definitely a '90s movie. Like there's some
Yeah.
things that is like so. It's like a nice '90s cheese.
Yeah,
It's the best way to put it.
yeah, I think that's part of the charm. It's just so cheesy, but it's like adorably cheesy.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So I know I'm definitely rewatching this once it's on September 30th because I'm actually gonna have like a watch party with friends who are like much more bigger fans of Hocus Pocus than I am. But
Okay. What about the other ones? What about Disenchanted?
you know what? I forgot this was a thing because I keep hearing they're going to make a sequel to this movie, and it's one of those things where like every time I hear people talk about it, I was like, okay, that's cool, and then I immediately forget all about it. And then once they announce that D23, it's like, okay, here we go again. And honestly, I really like. I'm curious about this one. I really like Enchanted, like the first one. That was definitely a pretty good film. I feel like I'm kind of like mixed about it nowadays because I'm just a huge fan when it comes to, like the much older Disney films like Snow White, Cinderella, and all that stuff. Where I feel like, yeah, some of the jokes there are kind of like a little bit harsh, but I get the appeal, and I do like the music, the characters, and all that stuff. The sequel, I'm just more curious at it. I'm not expecting too much out of it, but it's worthy a watch. I feel like my main concern is like there won't be too much 2D elements into this film. Like you get that one moment where you see like a brief glimpse of Edward in 2D, but
Yeah.
knowing that this is going straight to Disney Plus, I feel like the 2D stuff is going to be very limited. But it's hard to say. I'll still watch it. And I don't know about you, but is it just me or is this film going to feel like it's going to be parodying more of like the live action remakes in a sense?
I don't know, honestly. And I will confess, I'm not like a huge fan of Enchanted. That doesn't mean I hate it. It's just like I'm not as crazy about it as like some people are. Like I did see it and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's nice." And it's like because it's like an obvious
Yeah.
Disney making fun of themselves movie. And just never really thought much of it. And watching this, it looks like it looks like they're taking it to an interesting direction where where it looks like Giselle might be the villain in the movie. I'm not saying she will be the antagonist, but like she will have a bad side.
Like yeah, for like half of the movie she'll turn evil and then she'll turn good at the end. So I'm
Mhm.
guessing they're going to go with that route.
So yeah,
That's where I'm like saying like if this. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say this is why I said like if this is like them making fun of like the live action remakes because looking at the poster itself, it kind of gives out like that Maleficent vibe.
yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
No, I get what you
But,
mean,
yeah.
but we'll see how it is. For me, it's like it's not a high priority for me to go and watch, but like I know there's going to be like an audience for this, and they'll be excited for it. So I'm just gonna wait and see how the
Oh yeah, I
reactions are going to
seen
be with this, and we'll go from there.
yeah, I seen some reactions on TikTok about this movie. They're hyped.
Of course. All right. Next up,
Alrighty,
next up we have, I believe, Peter Pan and Wendy. Might as
Peter
well
Pan.
get into the. Do you want to save all the live action remakes like for last, or do you want to just talk about it?
Yeah, let's save that for last.
Okay, so I guess
Yeah,
the
let's
next.
go to the Haunted Mansion.
Yes, that one.
Uh,
How do you feel about that?
well, I'm hesitant about this one, and I mainly say that because we could have gotten the what's the name of that director?
Guillermo del
The one
Toro.
that's making the new Pinocchio.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yes, yes, we could have got that version. I'm sure that version would have been perfect, but I get why they didn't go move forward because it's all part of business, and I don't know much about this particular version of the Haunted Mansion. I'm hoping it doesn't suck. Please don't suck. But chances are, I mean, I want to be optimistic about this because of course, I'm thinking back about the last Haunted Mansion movie, which
With Eddie Murphy.
as a movie
yeah.
itself, I thought it was, yeah, I mean, it was all right. Like, I didn't hate it like some people do, but the way I see Haunted Mansion, it's like a good mixture. It's like like the ride itself, like a good mixture between horror and comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I don't want to go. I don't want this movie to go more towards the comedy or make it cheesy. And if you're gonna do comedy, make it good comedy. Don't make it like that typical kids comedy where they'll do like some cheesy jokes that are like so cringeworthy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But and also, like that's my main concern. It could be good. We'll just have to wait and see. But also, March, really? Why March?
I don't know. They got to work with something. But for me,
True.
for me, like I just don't know, man. The thing for me is just like hearing the synopsis. Not only does it feel very similar to the 2003 movie with Eddie Murphy, but it also just feels like Disney is trying to cash in, like have their own Ghostbusters, especially when the main plot feels like, when the main focus of it all is actually going to be like a group of Ghostbusters per se. Like you're gonna have like these researchers, these sidekicks, like you'll get like these exorcists or whatever, like take care of the mansion and see if they can try to get rid of the ghosts. But I don't know. Like for me, I would say the best case scenario, it would end up becoming like the Jungle Cruise movie, where it's a lot of it is going to feel manufactured. It's not really going to be good, but it's mostly going to be just for the fun of it, while you're also getting a bunch of little Easter eggs from like of the characters in the ride. But then again, it feels like at this point, like in a way, just from the sound of it, and especially like getting all these celebrities, it feels like they're just going to do what the Muppets already have done, but they're going to take themselves a lot more seriously in a way, which would get rid of the fun element in a sense.
Like I said, I'm just hoping, like, I'll be honest, I haven't seen the Jungle Cruise yet, but I heard good things about it. So I'm hoping they lean towards that aspect where it's the journey. Not only do you have like a decent plot, but the journey of it's like really fun. And yeah, I don't know. We'll have to like watch a trailer for this movie to see how we really feel about that. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I want to be optimistic about it. That's all I want to. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. Like, just from an outsider's perspective, we'll see. So I guess the rest now would be the live action remakes. We got Peter Pan and Wendy, Mufasa, Snow White, and of course, The Little Mermaid. So Logan, do you have any thoughts in particular on some of them, or are are there any that you're actually excited for?
Am I allowed to drink beer during this? No, I'm kidding. Okay. If I had to choose one that if I'm like more excited for, it'll definitely have to be Peter Pan and Wendy because I tend to be more. Here's the thing, because Peter Pan is definitely one of my top five favorite Disney films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like some things that are like outdated about it, but that's like the one film out of like Walt Disney's category that I grew up the most with. And I grew up with like so many other like films made by Walt Disney himself, but this one I watched the most. I just love the characters, the humor of it. The story's not the greatest, but it's the charm of it that was makes it like great and it's so magical. And with this one, I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be great, but I mean, I'm still kind of like somewhat optimistic about it because there's like some things that I wish that I'm definitely looking forward to. The one thing I'm definitely like curious to see how they're going to execute is the Native Americans with Tiger Lily and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, they're going to do justice with them in this version, but I'm curious to see where they're going to take with that route. But other than that, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be just meh material when it comes to this. Like, my expectations are not too high, but I'm curious to see where they're going to take this version of Peter Pan. Disney's Peter Pan, that is.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean. I would say for me, like, I gotta say, it's very poor timing with the announcement of all these live action remakes. Because the thing is, I just went through Disney's Pinocchio and I just did my review. So for me, looking at this, it's like I'm not in the mood to hear about more of these, Disney. Okay, I'm trying to process the one that I just watched. Okay, like, can you just save that for later? Just give me some time. I just feel.
I'm with you there. Look.
Yeah, I just felt, like hearing these announcements is like having a hangover. It's like, oh God, more of these.
I know. That's why I feel like after I read through this, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to a bar, just drink my sorrows away. But no, really quick on my thoughts on Pinocchio. It's one of the better live action Disney movies, but that's not saying much.
Really?
That's,
wow.
I mean, to me, it's like, no, it's not a good movie, but I much prefer watching that than freaking Lion King.
Dang.
Which, speaking of which,
they're having
Mufasa,
the prequel.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna be very. I just need to say this right now. We could be in a disagreement because I gotta say, out of all of them, Mufasa could be the most promising. That doesn't mean it's going to be good, but I feel like the premise of it is the most intriguing because we're going to see the story of Mufasa and how he became the Lion King of his time. That I will admit, that's an idea that I would be down to go and watch. But the fact that it is going to be like the live action remake of it, that's the part that makes it so iffy. But for me, that is the most intriguing of them all.
Yeah, you get that connection with the live action remake of The Lion King. And I'm with you there, Matt. I'm definitely more curious about this one. Not to say this is going to be like in my top tier, like most anticipated. Like, I'm not anticipating for it, but I'm curious more about the premise than anything else. I mean, granted, it's still probably going to suck, but it's just a curiosity factor. Like, where are they going to go with this? And this isn't like the first time they delve into Mufasa's backstory, because there's been like plenty of stuff beforehand, like old obscure Lion King books and the Lion Guard and all that stuff. So I'm curious to see where they're going to go with this take. But, I mean, I'm not mad like most people are about this. I'm just more like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I may or may not watch it, but
yeah. And then, of course, I think it's pretty much inevitable, the Little Mermaid remake. And just out of curiosity, you've seen the teaser trailer. What?
Oh, wait. We skip on Snow White. Let's save Little Mermaid for last.
Okay. Oh, okay. You want to talk about Snow White?
What do
you have to say for it?
We'll talk about this really quick. Snow White. I mean, why Snow White? I feel like that's like the one film people should not touch whatsoever, because Snow White, it's the Disney movie,
the one that
like
started
it's definitely
it all.
a classic for a reason. Exactly, yeah. So to make like, I don't know, something about like making a sequel, a live action remake, like, why bother? You can't touch perfection. And I know Snow White's not everybody's favorite, but it holds a special place when it comes to not only me, but also most Disney fans. So I don't know about this one. I mean, the casting seems promising, but
yeah.
And plus, we got all these like people don't like these controversies about like the dwarves, how they're going to be represented, and I don't want to think about that. It's too much to like go in depth about it. So we'll see. It's definitely on the lower when it comes to like these films, but
Yeah,
that's my thoughts.
nah, I know what you mean, because like with Snow White, it's like it's too much of a hassle than it should be. It's like, why even bother remaking it? Why is it even necessary to remake it? I'm honestly really not all that excited, especially like when you are going into Walt Disney's golden age, like after going through Dumbo and after going through Pinocchio. I don't really have any high hopes with what they're going to go with, what they're going to do with Snow White. I mean, like, yes, they have a promising cast, like Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler. They're great actresses, but I don't really have any hope for the material, especially if they're going to bring in Paul and Pasek to do new songs. Like, that's a turnoff for me. I'm sorry, but those songwriters are freaking bland. Like, I mean, like, I really did not care. What?
I was gonna say, what they write songs for?
These are the songwriters who did La La Land. They wrote the new songs for the Aladdin remake. They also did The Greatest Showman. I believe they also did Dear Evan Hansen. So yeah, I'm personally not really like, I don't hate them. I don't hate them, but I just find that they're so bland. They're way too safe. And especially with like, they're going to bring in new songs. It's like, I'm not going to freaking remember them anyways. And the ones that I do remember are laughable. Like, I still laugh. I still laugh when I think about the Jasmine song of, I will be silent. Don't want to do.
I forgot all about that song until you brought it up. My goodness.
Yes.
Yeah. So in the end, it's no high ho. It's no high hopes.
Nope. No high hopes there. So are we ready to talk about The One? So
yep, let's talk about The One.
The live action.
Really quick.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I was gonna say, overall, here's my thoughts. Halle Bailey is not the issue, but I feel like this movie is still gonna suck. It's going to be like just every other live action remake based on a Renaissance movie where, unfortunately, once it's released in theaters, it's going to make $1 billion. Then once it leaves the theater, nobody's going to talk about it, and they're going to go back to enjoying the animated film. So, I mean, and this is a tough thing to say because I've seen people's reactions through, like, what it'd be like through social media, TikTok, and all that stuff. And it does warm our heart seeing, like, especially like young girls' reactions towards this trailer. Like, I'm happy that they found like a princess that they could relate to and all that stuff. You see like them being happy, they're tearing up and all this stuff. And hey, I'm glad for that. Mm-hmm. But this is definitely not the movie for me. I mean, if anything, I'll be surprised if this movie is like 90% good. I'll be surprised if that's ever going to be the case. But if it does, I'll be more curious. I seriously doubt it. But it's just another live action Disney remake to me. I'm sorry. That's the way I view it.
Yeah, I'm on the exact same page as you. I feel like Halle Bailey, she's probably the best part of it. And like, even with her singing, she has proved that she is worthy to play as Ariel. But it's just the fact that
I was surprised by her singing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it's just the fact that once again it's just another live action remake. It's just like, for me in my mind, it's just here we go again. And yeah, like it is like, considering the major hype and how it is so talked about, whether it be positive or negative for the purpose of fueling culture wars, like I know it's going to be a hit. It is going to be making $1 billion at the box office. But the good news is that it could probably be the last one to do so, considering that the ones that have, they all have one thing in common, and that's the fact that they're just early Renaissance Disney animated films. So like, I could imagine after The Little Mermaid, it's going to go downhill from there. But either way, what?
I was going to say, I did hear rumors that they are working on like a new Hercules, a Hunchback.
That's not what I mean, though. I mean early Disney Renaissance movies.
Oh shoot, yeah, early. Sorry.
The only
But still,
exception,
yeah.
the only exception would be if for some reason they would want to do a live action remake of Rescuers Down Under, but that is it.
I mean, yeah, no, that movie flopped, so there's no way.
Exactly. So honestly, from there, like, yeah, I mean, I really do like what Halle Bailey has done with it. She deserves to play as Ariel, but other than that, though, it's just so much of it is just unnecessary. For me, it's just another live action remake. So like, I couldn't really care less about it.
Yeah. Also, I saw what Flounder looks like. Ew.
Can we, oh yeah,
Like-
can I propose something? Can we please bring back
What?
the puppet from the live show? You know the one that I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Can we have him back
No.
instead?
Oh. I mean, he's more tolerable than what I saw briefly there. I mean, it looks like he's at least that puppet looks more animated than that generic looking fish. Like, come on, it's Flounder. He's supposed to be adorable.
I would just love it if like everything is CG, we got the live actors, and then we just got this one random puppet flounder going around. That would just make the movie for me. That would be like, okay, now we know why this exists. 10 out of 10. Perfect.
Well, we know one surprise out of this movie. Though I can imagine what they're going to do with Sebastian. Ugh. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, especially the fact that he's going to be played by David Diggs. I mean, I love David, but I don't know if he would fit the role of Sebastian.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Exactly. And with that, let's go and jump onto our next one in the live action stuff, which we got here, the Lucasfilm ones. Yes, Lucasfilms has a whole bunch of announcements, not just movies, but mainly a bunch of series that are going to be coming to Disney+. The first one is actually showing a new trailer for Andor, which is the Rogue One prequel, which that one is actually going to be coming very soon, in which the first 3 episodes are going to be making their debut next week on September 21st. Next up, we got Willow, the new series based on the 1988 cult classic. And that one is actually going to be released much later this year on November 30th. Then following afterwards, they have discussed about The Bad Batch, in which that one is going to be having a season 2, and that one will be premiering 2 episodes on January 4th of next year. Then afterwards, they have shown a brand new trailer of Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, a short series in which it presented 6 animated shorts that chronicles the origins of fan favorite prequel characters such as Count Dooku, Ahsoka Tano, and several others. Then afterwards, speaking of Ahsoka Tano, they also briefly talked about the Ahsoka series, in which that one is going to be making its premiere on Disney Plus in 2023. Then afterwards, they've also briefly talked about Skeleton Crew, in which there's no release date as of yet, but they had a nice little discussion, and even having Jon Favreau and Jude Law discussing about the show. Then afterwards, they have shown a teaser trailer for the long-awaited 3rd season of The Mandalorian, which in this case, they're showing that apparently The Mandalorian is having some problems because of the fact that, well, he took off his helmet and he showed his face to someone, and now he can no longer be considered a Mandalorian. So, yeah, there's going to be troubles ahead for our favorite Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. And, or technically Grogu, but what the fridge ever. And finally, in Lucasfilm...
Tomato.
Exactly. And finally, they have also discussed about the 5th Indiana Jones movie, directed by James Mangold, in which that is going to be coming out on June 30th. And D23 fans have also experienced an extremely rare moment in which Harrison Ford got emotional, in which he actually stated, as he appeared with his co-star Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Thank you for making these films such an incredible experience for all of us. I'm very proud to say that this one is fantastic, and Waller-Bridge is one of the reasons. Indiana Jones movies are about fantasy and mystery, but they're also about heart. I'm really, really happy that we have a really human story to tell, as well as a movie that will kick your butt. So, Logan, what do you think about the Lucasfilms announcements?
Honestly, the only two projects I'm really into right now, out of all these, are The Mandalorian and Indiana Jones. Because honestly, when it comes to like Star Wars, like I'm a casual Star Wars fan. Like I watch the movies, but when it comes to like the TV series, I honestly it's just too much to take in because there's like so much lore that goes into like this universe. And I just haven't really got a chance to watch like any of them aside from The Mandalorian, the Boba Fett show, and Obi-Wan. But even then, like the latter two, I thought they were like all right. But Mandalorian, yeah, that's the one I got like really attached to when it comes to these shows, and I'm definitely looking forward to see what they got with the third season. Indiana Jones, I would assume like the last film would have been Harrison Ford's last Indiana Jones, but after you said that quote, and seeing how perfect this film could be, I'm very curious to see how they're gonna like go off with a bang for Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. But as for the other stuff, I mean, they sound promising. Like I can't really say much from my end because, like I said, I'm a casual Star Wars fan, so I don't really know much about like the Clone Wars series or like again, not too deep in the lore. Like I like Rogue One, but I don't really see myself watching the Andor series. I mean, it looks promising, but maybe like if I'm like bored and I need something to watch as a background as I work on other stuff, I'll put it in the background. So that's like the most I'll probably do with it. Willow, I have no idea what Willow is.
Really?
Like okay, I shouldn't say that. I'm aware of Willow. It's just one of those things I don't seek out to watch. Like at most, like if I hear somebody talk about it, I'd be like, "Oh, interesting." That's all I gotta say about Willow.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks promising, but it's just not for me.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a bit on the same page as you. Like, immediately, the third season of Mandalorian and Indiana Jones, already I'm highly interested. I really like what they got so far with The Mandalorian. I would probably say it's my favorite Star Wars series on Disney Plus right now. And especially Indiana Jones, it's very promising, especially with a great director like James Mangold working on it. That I find like it's really awesome. I think it's great. The Willow series, I might be a little bit different on you than that because with Willow, I will admit it's been so long since I've actually seen that movie, but that trailer, I gotta say, is actually very, it's very convincing and very promising. And I'm not gonna say I'm gonna immediately go and watch it, but if I hear some good things about it, I'll definitely consider it because, I think the trailer, they did very well with it. And I will say, I did previously talk about Andor, and that was another one I stated that it was promising, but I don't think it's going to be a high priority for me to go and watch. Like, if I hear that it's an amazing series that has to be a must-watch, then I will consider checking it out. And I would also say maybe Tales of the Jedi, like if I got a bit of spare time, I'll just go and check it out, but I'm not going to immediately go out of my way to go and see it. And other than that, though, like, the other stuff, like, it just feels like extras in order to really go into the details of the Star Wars lore, because I've stated myself in the past that I too am more of a casual Star Wars fan than like a die-hard one. So there are some of these projects that, like, yeah, I'm hyped up for, but a lot of them, it's like, we'll wait and see, but like, it did catch my eye a bit.
Yeah, and one more thing to say about, at least for the Willow and Indiana Jones, at least they're different than Star Wars.
Yeah, they're not Star Wars. Lucasfilms has more things than Star Wars, apparently.
Yeah, what a shock.
Yes.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say about those.
All right, so let's go into our final part for the live action remakes, and that is in regards to Marvel. Yes, we got the Marvel stuff going on, and apparently for the Marvel segment of this panel, they actually started out with a musical segment where they did a presentation of I Could Do This All Day from Rogers the Musical. If you guys have seen Hawkeye, then you're probably familiar with this. Then afterwards, they immediately went and started talking about the saga that we are in now, basically covering what's going to happen with the multiverse saga, specifically with what's happening with Phase 4 and Phase 5, or the rest of Phase 4. So starting things off, they began with talking about Wakanda Forever and just hyping up the movie with what's going to be happening with that film, which that's going to be coming out on November 11th. Then after that, they talked about Ironheart, which it will be talking about technically the next Iron Man of the MCU, Riri Williams, who will be played by Dominic Thorne. And that's going to be coming out in 2023, as well as also confirming that Anthony Ramos is going to be coming in, where he's going to be playing as Parker Robbins, aka The Hood. Then afterwards, they went and talked about the first Phase 5 movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, in which not only is that going to be coming out February 17th of next year, but they also stated that this will have an immediate connection with the next Avengers movie, The Kang Dynasty. After that, we got a bit of a surprise where they revealed Werewolf by Night, which is going to be a Marvel Halloween special that's going to be coming out next month on October 7th, which will be directed by Michael Giano. Yes, the legendary composer Michael Giano will be directing, or has directed this spooky little Marvel special. Then afterwards, they have shown a trailer of Secret Invasion, which is the Nick Fury series, and that one shall be coming out next year with a brand new trailer, by the way. Then after that, they have talked about Armor Wars, in which it will be featuring Don Cheadle's character, James Rhodes, in which that's also going to be another Marvel series that will be coming soon. Then after that, they went into Loki Season 2 and bringing on board Tom Hiddleston to go and talk about it. And Marvel's favorite trickster will be coming back to Disney Plus in 2023. Then afterwards, they talked a little bit about the long-awaited Fantastic Four movie, in which they have revealed that Matt Shakman, the guy who has helmed the WandaVision series, is going to be the new official director of the film, which that is going to be coming out on November 8th, 2024. Then after that, it's going to be Echo, which technically is the sequel series to Hawkeye. So they went and talked about that a little bit. Then after that, they went into Daredevil Born Again, the MCU Daredevil series with Charlie Cox, in which that is going to be coming out pretty soon on Disney Plus. Then afterwards, they got the next Captain America movie. Yes, this time it's Captain America New World Order, this time with Sam Wilson's Captain America, and that movie is going to be coming out in 2024. Then afterwards, they talked about Thunderbolts, a brand new group in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in which this ragtag team consists of Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, Red Guardian, Ghost, John Walker, aka US Agent, James Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, Taskmaster, and Yelena Belova. And this movie will be coming out in theaters on July 26, 2024. And then finally, they talked about The Marvels, in which they brought on board Iman Vellani, whom you know as Miss Marvel. They also brought in Teyonah Parris, aka Monica Rambeau, and of course, Brie Larson, aka Captain Marvel, in which that movie is coming out next year on July 28th. And there is one more thing worth talking about, and that is regarding the 20th Century movies, or rather the 20th Century movie, because there was only one that they talked about, and that is Avatar: The Way of Water, in which they went into a bit of detail of what's going to be happening with the feature film, along with the cast, both old and new, and with producer Jon Favreau, and even having a Zoom call with in which they had a Zoom call with James Cameron, who unfortunately could not be there, but they gave the audience some 3D glasses in order to check out some new clips of what's going to be in store with Avatar: The Way of Water. So, Logan, do you have any thoughts on that one?
I don't smoke, but I feel like I need a cigarette after taking out all that in. My goodness, that's a lot.
Was that, Logan, was that good for you?
It's hard to say. I think you overdid it.
Oh, really?
But no, honest. Okay,
John Landau, by the way, John Landau. Sorry, made that mistake. I think.
No worries.
Did I say John Landis? Oh, fudge. Sorry
I
about
think
that,
you did,
people.
But it's all good. But anyways, when it comes to the Marvel, yeah, I'm really big on the MCU. But I'm at the point where I'm feeling a little bit burnt out at the moment because there's just been like so many things going on in the MCU. Like so much that I even haven't got the chance to watch She-Hulk yet, which I heard good things about it. But I feel like once all the episodes are released, I'm just going to like put on the side and just work on other stuff just to get like a glimpse. But yeah, I feel like, the movies I'm okay with because, they come like every like couple of months and all that stuff. But for the TV series, I feel like they come out like once a month. And that just seems like too much to like keep track of. Because I barely got a chance to finish Moon Knight and Miss Marvel. So like for them to like throw in more stuff, it's like, yeah, it's really awesome. But you guys need to slow down just a little bit. But I mean, if I had to choose like some of my favorites, Ironheart seems promising. I don't know much about the character, but I'm curious to know where we're going to go with that route.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically, it will start off with Wakanda Forever, since that will be her big debut, and then, like, we're going to get the series.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She will make an appearance in that movie, which I'll definitely watch Black Panther just to see. The werewolf one, I'm very curious about that one. That looks really fun. Again, don't know much about the character it's based off, but it looks like it's going to be like a fun ride. What else? Loki. I'm definitely looking forward to Loki. Definitely love season 1.
All right.
If we know more about Fantastic Four, I'll be very interested. But since we don't know much about it aside from the release dates, I mean, it can't be any worse than the previous attempts. I'll say that much.
Yeah, that's true. The bar is set pretty low, so I mean, it should be easy to cross over.
Exactly. But other than those, when it comes to like the Marvel stuff, it's more like I'm curious, but when it comes to the movies, yes, I'll definitely watch them once they're released. But when it comes to like the TV series, I mean, I feel like it's one of those cases where if I have the time, I'll just like set up in the background and just watch them as I go. But I'm sure they'll be great. I mean, it's the MCU. I know people have like strong opinions when it comes to like MCU, but I'm still a fan. I'm still looking forward to what they have in stores. And yeah, definitely when I have the time, I'm definitely looking forward to them. Your thoughts?
Well, for me, I'm not like a big MCU follower, but there are a few things that I will admit caught my attention. And I do understand how you feel about feeling burned out because, yeah, Phase 4 really does feel exhausting, especially like with all the shows adding in hours upon hours upon hours. And the fact that like we don't know what the big goal of this saga is yet, which apparently they're going to go and ultimately clarify in Wakanda Forever. So for me, I would say the one that I am interested in the most is Wakanda Forever, for sure. Like, that I'm definitely excited for, since Black Panther is so far one of my favorite MCU movies. Some of the shows I'm not all that interested. Werewolf by Night, I will say I am a little curious about. Like, again, if I hear like amazing stuff about it, I'll give it a watch. I will say, like, even the trailer is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and plus a good thing about Werewolf is it's just a special. It's not like a TV series.
Yeah.
So you can just like watch it. So
yeah, it's like a one-time quick thing, like bing bang boom. There you go. Werewolves,
yeah.
Scariness, and there you go. Let's see what else we have. Well, Fantastic Four, we didn't get much info. Maybe Captain America. Well, then again, I have yet to watch The Falcon and the Soldier yet, so I don't know. But yeah, I think
it was all right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
honestly for me, like the only one that has really captured my attention is just Wakanda Forever. The rest, it would just be things that I would need context from other MCU movies and maybe some shows in order to fully understand. The rest, it's like I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, for me, it's mostly just Wakanda Forever and maybe Werewolf by Night. Oh, and one more thing we almost forgot. Avatar. What about Avatar?
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, like Avatar is one of those like things where it's like I'm really nervous. I'm like how it's going to like play out. Not for the movie itself, but more like how people are going to like react towards it. Because keep in mind, they've been working on these sequels for like years and years, and they say like, oh, it's going to be released this year. Oh no, it's going to release this year.
Yeah.
And it's been so long since the first one, like literally a decade at this point, like since 2009. And I'm just concerned like how the box office is going to like play out once this movie does release, because I feel like Avatar is one of those films, like the main reason why it made so much money in the first place was because of the 3D at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know like the people didn't really care much about the plot, the characters, and all that stuff. And I feel like when it comes to like Disney or 20th Century, like having high hopes for this franchise, it's concerning because I mean, granted, they made like they made Pandora at Animal Kingdom. That did very well.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the reason that did well is more of the environment than the movies themselves. But it's really hard to say. And the craziest thing about it is like not only will we get this one, but apparently the third one's also been finished, and they're in the works on finishing up the fourth one. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, there's gonna be 4 sequels, and now like they're gonna do like what they did with Star Wars before, where they're gonna release it once every 2 years, I believe.
That's insane.
Oh,
because I'm like, for me, I mean, I'll definitely watch the movie. Just I'm more like I'm only going to watch it just to support them because, yeah, decade, man. I mean, just for that preparation, which the trailer looks amazing. Like it shows the effort put into it. Mm-hmm. So Avatar is, like I said, Avatar is one of those franchises that I'm really concerned about down the road. Like whether it make like lots of money or it'll lose money. That's the scary thought for me. Like.
Yeah, for me, I would say, like, I've already talked about my thoughts in regards to Avatar: The Way of Water. I don't necessarily care all that much about it. And I feel like, yes, it's going to be a big hit. Yes, it's going to make like over $1 billion, but I don't think it's going to have the same level of success as the first Avatar. I don't think this is going to be like really record breaking per se, especially when they're going to go and release like sequel after sequel after sequel. It's just, I don't know. For me, it's not a high priority to go. Like, I'm only going to go if I'm invited to go watch it with either friends or family. Like, if we're all going to come together, we're going to watch it in 3D or in IMAX, then I'll say, yeah, sure, why not? Let's see what happens. But other than that, though, it's just like, yeah, I'm like with you. It's like, yeah, it's a thing, all right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It's
so
funny you mentioned that.
Go on.
Yeah. No, but the thing you mentioned that surprised me the most was they had people wear 3D glasses during this presentation, and I was like, wait, are they bringing back 3D for this movie? Because, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the big seller, and I think they're going to try to bring that gimmick back. It's like, no, you got to watch it with 3D. You know, I'm honestly surprised that James Cameron has yet to, like, create some kind of, like, technology where you're going to watch it like the 3DS, where you see 3D without the need of glasses.
I mean, that would be cool to witness if they go that route, but I hope they don't bring 3D back just because of this movie, because we're over that phase. Give it like another 2 decades for that phase to come back.
Oh, seriously. But yeah, that overall, that seems to be all the presentations for the live action stuff and for the other major studios with Disney. And now it is time. Thank you for your patience, chat wall. And now it is your turn to go and comment. I know it is freaking a lot, but I would like to know, what do you think about all the live action movies and the presentations? Which ones are the ones that really stood out for you, and which ones are the ones that you're most excited about? Let me know what you think. Okay. Let's see what we got. For me, some of my most anticipated live-action projects are Disenchanted, Peter Pan and Wendy. For Lucasfilms, it's Mandalorian Season 3 and Indiana Jones 5. And for Marvel, it's Thunderbolts. However, Marvel was kind of underwhelming because of their Comic-Con blowout. Personally, I'm really disappointed we didn't get any Guardians announcement and no Fantastic Four cast announcement. Oh my god, that is true. They said nothing about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Oh, wow.
Oh, maybe because they mentioned it at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I didn't. Yeah, because I didn't think about that either till Huh.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's surprising. Let's see. I read that one. Okay. Out of all the live action announcements, the one that I'm most excited for is Disenchanted. The original Enchanted has been a childhood favorite of mine as I enjoy the story, characters, and songs, and I consider it to be Disney's best live action remake even before they started the trend. I've been waiting to check out the sequel for a long time. I hope the hype and wait will be worth it. Definitely going to watch Disenchanted this November, and I can't wait to see James Marsden, aka Hitch, from MLP5. All right.
Oh, yeah. Took me a little bit there.
Yeah, the new generation. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is off to a great start. The Little Mermaid trailer looks pretty cool. Secret Invasion holds some promise. Haunted Mansion could be entertaining, even if it's weighed down by its problematic cast. And despite not liking the first film, I'm a little intrigued by Disenchanted. Also, I'm just hoping the Snow White remake's new songs aren't as ridiculously catchy as the one song from the new Pinocchio. Seriously, why does that song go so hard? Which one are you talking about? You gotta specify on that one. I would guess maybe the Coachman one, because I would say that's probably the one that I would say is enjoyable.
I honestly forgot all the original songs for that movie, so I can help you with that, buddy.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll go and respond to that. So we'll see. Okay, round one, go. Hocus Pocus 2. This looks like this will be wicked fun. Disenchanted. The first one looks really underrated, so I have some... the first one was really underrated, so I have some good hopes for this one. Haunted Mansion. Never watched the first movie or rode the attraction, so meh. Mufasa the Lion King. I have a good feeling on how this movie will end. Oh my, spoiler alert. Peter Pan and Wendy. I am rather cautiously optimistic about this one. Snow White and the Little Mermaid. Disney. Would you kindly not make a live-action remake for 5 minutes?
Sad but true.
Let's see. Round 2, Andor. I'm really interested to see this battle between the Rebels and the Imperial Empire. Willow. No idea. The Bad Batch. I'm excited for this one. Tales of the Jedi. It will be intriguing to see the backstories of these characters. Ahsoka. Who would have thought that she went from being hated to one of the most beloved Star Wars characters of all time? Skeleton Crew. Sounds interesting. Mandalorian. I am hype. Let's see. The Lion King remake was one of the worst films I've seen, just by how bland they made the story and characters look, and how disrespectful it was to the original. I like John Favreau. I hope the best for him in Star Wars, but I would say I like how he described 2D animation as a thing of nostalgia for kids rather than a practical art form like stop motion. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Oh, round 3, Wakanda Forever. Here's to you, Chadwick Boseman. Werewolf by Night. Love me horror aesthetics. Secret Invasion. Of course I'm excited. You might have... Thunderbolts. Suicide Squad Marvel Edition. Avatar, The Way of Water. Strong visuals, weak story. New World Order. You might want to change that title, especially when you consider that a Jewish man is playing the villain. Oh, crap. Oh dear. That just got dark.
That was dark.
That just got dark real quick. Oh boy. Yeah, when you're going in a direction darker than the Haunted Mansion, that's when you're like, take it easy, pal. Anyways, I'll read one more before we move on to the next one. Let's see. Which studio will have a tremendous 100th anniversary celebration next year? Warner Brothers or Disney? Answer Disney, because there are so many announcements that will get fans excited for next year. From Walt Disney Pictures, I'm excited the least as most of them don't look good. From Lucasfilm, Mandalorian Season 3, Bad Batch, and maybe Indiana Jones 5. For Marvel, The Werewolf Special, Secret Invasion, Loki Season 2, and Wakanda Forever got me excited. Avatar 2, like the first one, meh.
Alrighty.
All right.
A lot to say there.
Yeah, already an hour in, and that's just our first panel of that. Don't worry,
It's
folks.
only the beginning.
Yeah, the next ones, don't worry, they will go much faster. Which, speaking of which, the next panel that we have over here, we're gonna get into something a little more interactive, as we shall be talking about the video games. Yes, we're gonna get into the Disney and Marvel Games Showcase, in which they have revealed a whole bunch of brand new Disney games, specifically, or most of which are going to be Marvel games, but I'm going to go into my source here to IGN and discuss them one by one, going from down to up. So, here it goes. The first announcement they've made is regarding Marvel Strike Force, in which they've revealed for the mobile RPG that starting tomorrow they are going to be adding Red Hulk. Next up, we got the Mirrorverse. Yes, Disney's brand new epic action RPG game with all new action-packed versions of beloved Disney characters, in which in here they revealed a villains trailer, in which it highlighted Ursula, Oogie Boogie, and Maleficent, Scar, but also they have revealed a brand new villain that will be included, which will be Hades. And right at the end of the trailer, they also gave out a little hint that Jafar is going to be included as well. Next up, they talked about the upcoming Disney racing game, Disney Speedstorm, in which in here they have revealed some brand new elements coming from Monsters, Inc. Not only is there going to be a Monsters, Inc. track, which is going to be called The Factory, but you will also be able to go and drive as Sully, Mike Wazowski, Celia, and Randall. Next up, we also got another big update for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, in which they're going to have a major galactic edition, in which in here they got some brand new characters that they are going to be adding, some new significant ones that will be based on some of the newer shows from the Star Wars saga, including Cassian Andor, Reva, Captain Rex, and many, many more. And that's going to be coming out on November 1st. Next up, we got a brand new MMORPG mobile shooter called Avatar Reckoning. So if you would like to play Avatar on your phone, well, then you will have this. Next up, we got Disney Dreamlight Valley, which that is the Disney equivalent of Animal Crossing. And they have revealed a brand new realm inspired by Toy Story, in which you will be shrunken down to the size of a toy, and you can hang out with Buzz Lightyear and Woody. And then they have also revealed that they are going to be re-releasing a Sega Genesis classic from 1995, which is going to be the platformer Gargoyles, based on the hit Disney series. And they even mentioned there is a fun little fact that apparently it was one of the first projects by composer Michael Giano. Speaking of Michael Giano, next up they also revealed some gameplay footage for the 2023 game Aliens Dark Descent. So they shown a little bit of how you can go and take down some xenomorphs. Then afterwards, they had a brief talk about Return to Monkey Island, which that one is actually going to be coming very soon on September 19th. Then after that, they talked about Marvel Snap, which is going to be the collectible card game that you can play on your mobile device, or I think on your, on mobile or on PC on October 18th. So if you would like to play a Marvel card game, you could do so with Marvel Snap. Then after that, they showed a bit more. They showed a bit more footage on Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, which is going to be the big open world Avatar game. Then afterwards, they've revealed Marvel World of Heroes, which is going to be the augmented reality Marvel mobile game, which is brought to us by Niantic, the people that brought you Pokemon Go. Then after that, they've revealed a brand new game called Disney Illusion Island, a brand new 2D platformer in which you could play as Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Donald, each with their own unique abilities that you can go around on some platforming levels, which that is going to be coming out on the Nintendo Switch in 2023. And by the way, they even mentioned that there is a brand new art style that is not entirely similar, but a bit reminiscent to the recent Paul Reddish cartoons. Then, following that, they have revealed a new game called Tron Identity, which that is going to be a visual novel adventure, which that is going to be coming out in 2023. Then after that, they talked about Marvel's Midnight Suns, in which is a brand new Marvel game in which you could play a variety of Marvel heroes such as Ghost Rider, Wolverine, Captain America, Iron Man, and many, many more. And that one is going to be coming out on December 2nd of this year, and even promised that at a later date, there is going to be a Switch edition. And on top of that, they even mention that there's going to be an upcoming set of prequel shorts that are going to be coming out starting on this Halloween. And finally, the biggest reveal that they have made is an untitled game brought to us by Amy Hennig and Skydance New Media. And on this game, it's actually going to be set during the World War II era, in which we will see both Captain America and Black Panther fight off against Hydra. Specifically, it's going to be Steve Rogers' Captain America and King T'Challa's grandfather, Azuri, playing as Black Panther. And on top of that, we also got other characters as well that you could play, such as Gabriel Jones, who is a U.S. soldier and a member of the Howling Commandos, and also Nanali, the leader of the fledgling Wakandan spy network. Now, we don't necessarily have a release date or a title for this thing, but that apparently is going to be a major game for people to keep their eyes on. Now, Logan, what did you think about all these games? Wrong button. What the fridge am I doing? There we go.
I'm not a gamer, so there's a lot that I have no interest in.
Then why the frick did we talk about this?
But I do have some things I want to talk about in regards to like a few of these. So, which is pretty interesting to say, because I'll start off with I'll talk about the ones that like fascinate me the most.
Okay.
Mirrorverse. I'm very curious, like, on the designs of these characters. Not so much to me to go into actually play, but I seen like figures of these wherever I go to like Target or Walmart or something like that, and it looks interesting. Just nothing that I would like sit down and play. Though, have you seen what Woody looks like in this game?
Oh yeah, they made him a legit Chad in that one. Like, oh my god, no,
like Mike. I know.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say like, yeah, people are just like talking about that nonstop once they released him, and it's like, oh, Woody.
Oh yeah.
But anyways,
oh man, this roundup suddenly getting hot in here.
That's for sure. Disney Speedstorm. This is one game that I really want to play, but I'm more baffled than anything else because I like the idea of like this Disney racing game. I'm not the biggest fan of like the cars themselves. Like, they're not fun. Like, for me, if I want to sit down and like play like a racing game, I want the carts to be fun. Like, good example, Mario Karts. Those carts are really like fun. But to me, this seems like it's like fascinatingly generic. But if I ever do get a chance to play it, I'm sure I'll have a heck of a ton to play. So,
Yeah.
Plus, like,
yeah, go on.
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, that's just like fascinates me. It's like curiously, but nothing I'm gonna seek out right away. But
yeah,
what are you gonna
like,
say?
The thing is, I think the big thing with Disney Speedstorm is like they're taking themselves more seriously than they should. Like, you know, they want to be like, this is Disney's Gran Turismo. We're going to be racing some epic cars, but with Disney characters now, like Mulan and Mickey Mouse. It's like, come on, just liven up a bit. I mean, you're freaking Disney. Just have fun, you know? Don't be cool, be fun. That's all we're asking, man. But honestly, like with those two, I do agree with you. Like Disney Speedstorm does seem interesting, but I am going to be more of a wait and see kind of guy. Like, I don't know if it's not like I will confess, maybe my standards are pretty high because like the most that I've played in terms of racing games is Mario Kart, and it's hard to like be on par with it. So we'll wait and see. But then there's also yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say nothing can top Mario Kart.
Yeah,
no matter what.
Yeah, that's true. And as for Mirrorverse, yeah, I mean, I've never really played it myself, and I don't know if there's anybody who has actually played it, but I will admit they do make some pretty amazing toys. Like, I will confess, I actually bought the Mickey Mouse one myself because it actually does look awesome, and they all really do look cool. Like, I can really imagine this be like this amazing set of collectibles where you have like these epic versions of classic Disney characters, but other than that, though, it's just... I don't know if I don't know if the game itself would really be that worth it, because it just feels like Disney time and time again, like they want to keep on trying to make like a new version of all these different types of like games where they take their characters and put them on like try to like be so action packed with them. Like the closest they ever got to really achieving that was Epic Mickey, but then they never really managed to successfully recreate that kind of success ever since, or they ever got to that level of actually having a video game that actually does work with the Disney brand.
And you know what's funny? This is not the only one that's like that. There's like 2 other mobile huge Disney crossover games, action crossover games are like this.
Yeah, exactly. But there's like what? Sorcerer's Arena, and like
there's like Hero Battle something.
Yeah.
Disney Hero Battle. It's like there's so many of these. It's like, guys, I love Disney crossovers as like next guy, but take it easy.
Yeah, it's like they're doing like so many different games, but all with the same idea. It's kind of like hard to keep track of like which one is which.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I guess the only other game I want to talk about really quickly is Disney Dreamlight, because the last game I bought for my Switch was Animal Crossing, and I did have a fun time playing that game for like 3 months, 4 months, something like that. And then I just basically just stopped. But I had a good time playing it. I'm like kind of hesitant if I want to like try this one out, because yeah, it is basically Animal Crossing but Disney themed, and it's promising, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be dedicated towards it. Maybe down the road, but for now it's like I like the idea of like, hey, why not just like make your own little Magic Kingdom of sorts? But from what I've heard, it sounds fun, but I'll definitely need to like, it's something I'll worry about down the road. I'm not too worried about at the moment.
Yeah, like I remember I talked about this with my friends, and they all said like, "Oh, this is definitely Matt." I was like, "This is definitely something for Matt." But for me, it's just I'm not really an Animal Crossing player, if I have to confess. Like, I get the appeal of the game, and I get why it's such a huge phenomenon. I understand that, but it's not a game for me. That's all I could really say about it. Like, yes, I agree with many people. Like, I understand like how it is a phenomenon and how people love it, but not really my type of game that I would like really be committed to. And even with this one, I will say like the graphics are beautiful. It looks like an amazing game, but I don't know if it's something that I would really be down to go and play.
Right. I did see this one Easter egg where you see Goofy like fishing, and he does the perfect cast. I thought that was a nice little touch.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Also, well, actually, there is another one that I do want to talk about, and what I am wondering is regarding what was it? Illusion, the new 2D platformer, the Illusion one. What's it called? Hold on, sorry. What's it called? Illusion. I just said it. Illusion Island. Yes. What did you think of that one?
It looks cute. Honestly, I really don't have much to say about that, because yeah, it does look like fun to play, but I don't think it's something that I'll be dedicated to like sit down and play it. The art style looks cute, and but let's hear your thoughts.
For me, I feel like again, it's kind of like with the other games where it's like, it looks interesting, but I'm going to wait and see with what the reception is going to be, what the word of mouth is, because I could see this working. This does have some promise where it kind of looks like the Disney equivalent of Rayman Legends, where you got that kind of crazy 2D platformer going on. And like, if done right, I could see this working well. And if it's good, then I'll definitely get it for myself. But other than that, though, I'm not 100% sure if this is something that I would be completely down to like really go and get myself. But honestly, we will wait and see. Like the trailer, I will say, is cute. Like it did provide a pretty cute trailer. That was funny. It was nice. But if I'm actually going to seriously go and play it, that will have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Like, if I do hear good things about it, maybe. But then again, I'm at the point where it's like I'm so focused on like other things that the most I'll play video games now is like if I do like we'll have like a like live play of like Mario Kart or Smash Brothers, and
yes,
that's right about this.
I think that would be the most of that I would do if I do reboot Animat. If I reboot Animat Plays, and if I get back to that, then I'll consider adding in Illusion Island. I think that would be the most that would get me to go and play it.
There you go. Because I'm more of like somebody that's like fascinated to know like the lore, or like fascinated to know like the making of these games rather than like playing the games themselves.
Yeah,
that's just me. Like I'm aware of like characters like Banjo, Legend of Zelda, Metroid, and all these characters. I just haven't got the time to like sit down and play it.
Yeah, I understand the feeling. But yeah, that's any of the other games you want to talk about, like any of the Marvel stuff that they've revealed or anything like that? Anything else that caught your interest?
I will say this: we can add Monkey Island to a list of like Lucasfilm stuff that's not Star Wars.
That is true. That is Lucasfilm, actually. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So.
Go on.
Oh no, I was gonna say like Monkey Island is one of those things I'm aware of. I just haven't like played it, but I heard they're really good for what they are.
No, I've heard a lot of good things about it too, and also a really funny game. I think like at the most, the only other one that would really interest me outside of the ones we talked about is the new game with Captain America and Black Panther. But other than that, that's it, really.
Yeah, I figure like I know we talked about like should we talk about the video games or not, but it's like I'm sure there might be a few things worth talking about, and we did have some good conversations with that. Yeah. But yeah, might as well just talk about them.
Exactly. That was the thing that like I remember after that presentation, I went and contacted you and I asked like, should we talk about this? Is it really worth talking about to get into like the games? Because like I wasn't even sure if there was a lot for you that you want to go and talk about.
Oh yeah, like it's not like I'm gonna play these games, but it's fun to like talk about the games, like just like the premise alone, like how they are, rather than just be like, yeah, the analog stick for this is not that great. They could have worked on the graphics just a little bit. Maybe the jump button needs some work. Like I'm not that in depth with these video games. Like I'm more fascinated just to talk to somebody like watch a review of the game than just like play the games themselves.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like I'm a bit more of a gamer myself, especially with the Nintendo stuff, which by the way, I am excited for the Nintendo Direct tomorrow. But
shoot, that's right.
Yeah. I saw that on social media and I was like, oh hot dang, they're already announcing it now. But yeah, for me, like when it comes to with Disney games, it's not really that interesting, especially with this one. Like we got nothing on Kingdom Hearts, so like I guess there's nothing really a whole lot to talk about. So for me, it's like honestly,
yeah.
For me,
I was gonna say I was kind of hope.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say like that's like the one thing I was kind of like disappointed. Like they didn't mention like anything about. I mean, I wasn't expecting much to talk about Kingdom Hearts, but they could at least mention something about it. But oh well, what can you do?
I guess like we still have to wait for more updates on Kingdom Hearts 4. But for me, overall, I guess like for ultimately, I just did not care because, well, did they make an announcement for an Epic Mickey remake? No? Well, then who the fridge cares?
Servers for Oswald, please.
Oh, yes. All right. So with that said, I'd like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, what do you think about the Disney Games announcements? Have there been any that you guys are interested in, that anything that you would like to know? Let me know what you all think about this. Personally, the Disney games didn't really grab my attention. For me, the ones that interest me the most are Avatar Reckoning, Aliens Dark Descent, Tron Identity, and the Black Panther and Captain America game. However, the one thing I'm surprised about is that we didn't get any updates on Kingdom Hearts 4. I know that game was announced not too long ago, but they could have shown one new Disney World that could be in the game. Either that, or they must be really early in production with Kingdom Hearts 4. Let's see. The only announcements that is interesting is that new Mickey Mouse Rayman Legends clone and that Marvel World War II game. The rest was stuff I don't care about or just for mobile games nobody will ever give a crap about. They didn't give us any info on Spider-Man 2, Kingdom Hearts 4, and not even a mention of the new Marvel vs. Capcom game. I hated this presentation. Can't wait for the new Nintendo Direct tomorrow. Oh yeah, that's true. They could have at least gone into Spider-Man 2. Let's see what else we have. Okay. The games from Disney didn't grab my attention all that much. Not to say they are bad, and I do play video games myself, but I don't think any of them appeal to me that much, including some Marvel games. The only Marvel games I'm more interested is the upcoming Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine, except it is being made by Insomniac Games and PlayStation instead of Disney. But other than that, the Disney games didn't appeal to me. Well, hold on. No, the thing is that regardless of who's making it, Disney could have still talked about it, because I remember the last time they did this game presentation, they actually did talk about the Spider-Man game, or at least the first Spider-Man game. I remember that. So it's like, yeah, okay, well... Oh, go on?
I was going to say, yeah, Spider-Man is still Disney, so it's just like, they don't... The copyrights on Spider-Man is so complicated at the moment. I can't go into depth about it at the moment.
I think it's more the film. I think it's just the film rights, because everything else is owned by
Disney. It's the film rights.
Even Disney isn't, because the funny thing is, like, even Disney is in charge of the merchandising for Spider-Man, for the Spider-Verse movies.
That surprises me. Like, even like, yeah, they're not making the movie, they still own the merchandise rights. That's kind of funny.
They're still making the money out of it. I wouldn't be surprised they're the ones who are going to keep the Oscar for it.
Oh my god.
Let's see.
But anyways.
So now we've reached the games, and it looks all right. On one hand, many of them have either too little to say or anything like that about, like, Gargoyles looks just boring like Marvel Snap and Dreamlight, or doesn't catch my interest like World of Heroes or the Avatar games. On the other hand, some of these look really fun and have certainly caught my interest, like the World War II game, Illusion Island, Speedstorm, and Return to Monkey Island. So overall, this wasn't anything special. Let's see. I think I'll read one more before we jump into the next one. Here's my reaction to panel 2. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, I prefer the original game. Avatar Reckoning and Frontiers of Pandora looks amazing. Disney Dream Valley, Disney's Animal Crossing, nice. Disney Illusion Island, looks cute, but I'm in no rush to getting it. Tron Identity, a Tron visual novel, interesting. Marvel's Midnight Suns, meh. Captain America and Black Panther, this looks more promising. And Avengers Dark Descent, since when did Disney get involved with aliens? When they purchased Fox. They have a very interesting history with aliens. I mean, do you remember when Aliens was featured in The Great Movie Ride?
Yeah, not only that, but before Extraterrestrial, they wanted to make that theme to Aliens. Because they got the theme park rights at the time. So they had a history of aliens. You'll be surprised. So
yeah, it's strange. It's funny how Aliens has such this fascinating history with Walt Disney World, out of all places. Okay, so
you can thank Michael Eisner for that.
Disney's strange alien himself. All right. Anyways, moving on to our next panel. This is going to be another pretty big one, but we might as well go and cover the rest of what is going to be happening on Disney Plus. Yes, technically this is the Disney branded television panel, but the grand majority of it is going to be on Disney Plus, so that's going to be the main focus of this whole thing. So, the first thing that they have done in order to open this entire presentation is actually a performance from the Electric Mayhem in order to promote the new series that's going to be coming soon in 2023, The Muppets Mayhem. And here they are right now performing Can You Picture That with Dr. Teeth, Floyd Pepper, Janice, Zoot, Lips, and of course, Animal, in which they went a little bit as well to go and talk about the upcoming series, which again will be coming to Disney Plus in 2023. Next up, they also had a presentation of High School, the Musical, the series, in which they have mentioned how this Wednesday, the show will have the season finale, in which right now they're currently in season 3, and they have revealed the plot line of what's going to be happening with season 4, in which it states here, reading from my source on D23.com, it states... High School Musical, the series fans can now rejoice because the 4th season is coming. After an epic summer at Camp Shallow Lake, the Wildcats return to East High, where they will prepare a stage production of High School Musical 3 senior year. On their first day back, the principal announced that Disney has decided to make the long-awaited High School Musical 4 the reunion movie on location at their beloved high school, and our Wildcats will be playing featured extras in the movie. It's season 4, and it's now or never. After that, they have presented a new original series on Disney Plus called American Born Chinese, in which this one will be a lot more action-oriented than you may think, especially when this will be diving into Chinese mythology. And speaking of Chinese mythology, and including a whole bunch of gods into it, they also showed a little bit of a preview of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, to which they say that's going to be coming soon on Disney Plus as well, and presenting a teaser trailer of the upcoming series. Then after that, they showcased season 2 of The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, in which not only is that going to be coming out in February of 2023, but they also showed a trailer of season 2 of Louder and Prouder. And I'm just going to tell you right now, this trailer here with what they're showing, with what's going to be happening, it's going to go hard. Next up, they talked about a series in which you can already watch right now on Disney Plus. It's actually available, called Growing Up, in which it is created by Brie Larson and Hiro Vanessa Arie. I think that's how you say her name. In which they actually got a group of teenagers and they talk about the struggles of growing up, or like transitioning into adulthood, and talking about the hardships they have to face and coming in terms with who they are as a person. So really looking deep into that, as well as showing a new trailer for us. Then following afterwards, we got a whole bunch of holiday specials, including Best in Snow, in which they would show some snow creations from a variety of different Disney properties, coming from the live-action films, their animated films, Marvel, Pixar, The Muppets, including some performances in which they promise coming from Titus Burgess, from Kermit the Frog, and Dee Capella. And apparently this special is going to be coming this holiday season on Disney Plus. We also got another holiday special coming up called Pentatonics Around the World for the Holidays, in which it will follow the a cappella group Pentatonics, in which that's going to be another holiday special coming to Disney Plus. And then also we got the Hip Hop Nutcracker, and it sounds exactly what it seems. It's actually a hip hop version of the Nutcracker, which again, that's going to be another Disney Plus thing happening. And speaking of the holidays, we also got a bit of a talk in regards to the Santa Clauses, the brand new series, which is actually based on the Tim Allen holiday classic, The Santa Claus, in which, of course, Tim Allen himself is going to be starring in. And they even released a brand new teaser trailer and confirmed that the series is going to be coming out on November 16th. Then following afterwards, there's another fan favorite thing happening on Disney Plus, which is National Treasure. The brand new series, specifically National Treasure: Edge of History, in which not only did they put out a brand new trailer, but they also have a release date in which the first 2 episodes are going to be coming out on December 14th. Then, following after that, they have a talk about a new animated series in which it is called Marvel's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, which not only did they put out a teaser trailer for it, but they've also confirmed that it's going to have a release date on February 10th of next year on Disney Channel, and then quickly afterwards they will put it on Disney Plus. Then, after that, they have some documentaries they would like to show, including Choir, in which it pretty much presents the Detroit Youth Choir, who have been noted to be finalists on America's Got Talent. We also got the story of Madhu, in which it follows Anthony Madhu, who had this viral video back in 2020. So this will go and follow Anthony Madhu's story. And then afterwards, we also got a season 2 of Big Shot, which that as well as a new trailer, by the way, which that's going to be coming soon to Disney Plus. Oh, and by the way, speaking of documentaries, there's one thing I almost forgot to talk about. This wasn't mentioned in this article here, but they did release a brand new teaser trailer for an upcoming Mickey Mouse documentary, which will be coming out on Disney Plus on November 18th, which is noted to be Mickey Mouse's birthday. And then after that, they showed, apparently there's going to be a season 2 of Doogie Kamai Aloha MD. So that's going to be another thing happening on Disney Plus. And then there is apparently an upcoming Disney Plus movie called Prom Pact. So that's going to be another thing that will be coming soon. And then there is going to be a Zombies 3. Actually, I think it is, it's actually available right now that you could go and check out on Disney Plus. They actually just so happen to also present a trailer for it. Then afterwards, they went and talked about the Disney Junior stuff, in which they went into a bit of detail about Star Wars Young Jedi Adventure, as well as talking about some of the other Disney Junior shows that are going to be coming soon, including Alice's Wonderland Bakery, Fire Buds, and Mickey Mouse Funhouse. And then, onto the Disney Channel stuff, they have revealed a second Under Wraps movie, which that is going to be coming soon. Apparently on September 25th on Disney Channel. Yes, this September 25th. And on September 30th on Disney Plus, as well as releasing a brand new trailer for it. Then following afterwards, they revealed a 4th Descendants movie is going to be happening. Then after that, oh, actually, this is the final one for this whole presentation. Raven's Home, in which they have confirmed that there will indeed be a 6th season of it. So yeah, that's definitely a lot. Logan, has there been any that has interested you?
Yeah, so since there's a lot here, I'm just gonna talk about the ones that fascinated me the most. So we're not gonna talk about every single one of these. So
no, of course.
We'll start at the very beginning. So we'll start. I'll give them this. There's a lot more original live action stuff here compared to what they got for movie wise.
Yeah, so for like Disney Plus, there's more originality than what they're willing to put out on the big screen.
So I appreciate that. So first things first, knowing you, Matt, I can tell you're very excited for the Muppet Mayhem show.
That's my most excited one out of all these announcements.
I'm going to take a wild guess here, given what you're doing right now. But no, that one I'm definitely looking forward to because yes, we definitely need more Muppets because Muppets are awesome. I just hope this one does much more better than the previous Muppet shows, particularly Muppets Now and the Muppets.
I don't, yeah, for me, I personally don't hate them, but I do get what you mean, though. Like, hopefully, we will have a legitimate Muppet series that will be worth investing, will actually be. That will actually be a lot of fun and capture the spirit of the Muppets, actually, instead of just like Disney trying to, Disney trying to like give us something that seems like the Muppets, but it seems like they're getting closer and closer, especially like with Muppets Haunted Mansion. They got close to it. That so far seems to be something that Disney fans and Muppet fans have been really enjoying so far, or at least like the one that they have enjoyed the most in recent years. So at least like they are getting better, and hopefully we can see that result progressing with the Muppets Mayhem.
Oh yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Here's hoping they give more development for Lips, because I forgot he was a thing.
Yeah, that is true. He was a really late addition.
Yeah. High School Musical, the series. I hate that title. No, but I mean, the most I can really say about that is like I've only watched like the first 2 episodes. I thought it was all right. I haven't really caught up with like the rest of the series. Curious to know how they're gonna do like the High School Musical 4. So, not interested, but I'm curious to know where they're gonna go with that. Percy Jackson. I'm not personally a big fan of Percy Jackson, but I feel like this one shows potential because from what I heard from like the previous films of Percy Jackson, they weren't that great. But then again, this is coming from somebody that's not invested into the series. But I see potential in this one. What do you think?
Personally, I never really cared much about Percy Jackson. I never got, I never really it never really caught my interest, so I don't really care. Like, I know it has a significant fan base, and a lot of the adaptations have treated them dirty, especially with the movies and with the Broadway show, which apparently was a disaster. So
there was a Broadway show?
Yeah, apparently there was a stage production, and it was on Broadway, and oh boy, that one was an absolute mess. Debatably much more than the movies. So hopefully Disney can do justice with the series, at least for the fans.
Oh yeah. The Proud House, or not Proud House, the Proud Family I'm looking forward to. That looks fun.
Yeah, I just gotta say though, I honestly haven't seen the first season of Louder and Prouder, but I feel like honestly I should, because I've heard a lot of great things about that series, and especially like watching that trailer, like as I said before, watching the trailer of season 2, that went hard. It looks like, it really feels like another one in which they're really not going to hold back. Like, yeah, there's going to be there is going to be that Disney episode, but then there's going to be an episode in which they will talk about police brutality and protests, which that is going to be really interesting.
No, they go hard. Like, from the episodes I've seen from season 1, they definitely go hard when it comes to like certain modern things that happen with our lives. Would it be like, I mean, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but yeah, it's definitely worth watching because it definitely feels like you're watching the Proud Family in a modern age. So I recommend it.
Honestly, I might probably have to catch up on some episodes, and then like I'll be ready for season 2.
Oh yeah, Hip Hop Nutcracker. I thought that's going to sound stupid, but given how much, I mean, I think the mindset of like Hamilton and how well that was executed, but I don't know. I mean, it's original. I'll give it that.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be one of those things like what they recently did with Sneakerella is going to be the same story, except there's going to be like a new modern twist to it. So, I don't know.
Probably. I mean, not interested, but the title, I just thought that was interesting. But the Santa Clauses, I vaguely remember watching the first movie. Like, I remember only watching like the first half of the first one, but I know how should I say popular this series is or franchise is?
Yeah,
but,
like it has a cult following.
Okay, because I know it like has like
Yeah,
Oh,
I guess
sorry,
you
what?
could. I guess you could say it's like the Christmas equivalent of Hocus Pocus.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't really that invested with the other films, but it shows potential. Same goes with oh, what?
Yeah, I was about to say like with the Santa Clauses. I mean, it is it is a classic. I understand why people love it. I will say like the sequels, they're stupid, but like they're like quotable in the way that they're cheesy. Like even to this day, like I would go like sometimes like there would be scenarios where I would quote the Santa Claus 2 and just be like Tim Allen just like staring at something going, I gotta get married. Or there's
Oh, yeah.
or there's like the third, or like there's the third one with Martin Short as Jack Frost. Like when some people would go and say like, come on man, just chill. I invented chill.
Yeah, I'm sure they sound like fun movies to watch. What was the one with the robotic Santa?
I believe that's the second one.
Okay,
I think that is the second one because like that's that's when Tim Allen unleashes his villain side and just being this evil Santa like, ho ho ho, I'm the new Santa.
I just remember the visuals of that thing and ugh. But
Yeah,
anyways,
like the movies as a whole, they're not really worth remembering, but it's just like little elements that really do stand out and they are worth talking about.
oh yeah, I'm sure it'll please the fans, but eh.
Yeah,
Natural
exactly.
Treasure. I remember I haven't seen the first one, but I remember watching the second one. I need to watch the first one because, yeah, the second one is one of those like movies that I only watched the sequel and not the first one. But for the series, I mean, it looks promising. Not sure if I'll get down to like watch it, but if I have time, I'll at least watch the first episode and see how I feel about it going forward.
For me, I would say it's a wait and see kind of thing. The National Treasure movies, I will admit, is something that I grew up. Maybe they're not fantastic movies, but they definitely are fun as like a whole, like they really do define as a treasure hunting movie because that's literally what you're doing. You're kind of like looking into these like major artifact, like these like American artifacts, and you look into, you need to go and find this epic treasure. You know, it's kind of like the, I guess you could say it is the Disney Nicolas Cage equivalent of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, because like it's partly educational because you do learn about some American history, you learn about like some very popular artifacts, and then you would just go from there. For me, I'm not going to immediately go and watch the new National Treasure series. I would be more like a maybe. We're just going to wait and see. Again, if there's a lot of good word of mouth about it, I'll consider checking it out. But for now, it's like, I don't know. It's not a high priority for me.
I feel yeah. Other than those, any other thing you want to talk about in regards to all this? Because everything else, I really got not much to say.
Good question. I mean, like, well, Muppet Mayhem, I'm really excited for. Other than that, like, maybe American Born Chinese does sound interesting, especially with the way that they could play around with a lot of Chinese mythology and Chinese gods. Like, that might
Oh
sound
yeah.
interesting. Like, you know, a little bit like with Percy Jackson. Other than that,
Mhm.
though, I'm not 100% sure if there's anything that really does stand out for me. Like maybe Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, if that turns out to be fantastic.
It
But
looks fun.
mhm. But other than that, I don't think there's really anything else that stands out for me.
Yeah. I mean, the rest is just like Disney Channel stuff, which I don't really follow nowadays. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure they're good stuff,
yeah,
but
it really, yeah, it's just a lot of it is just Disney Channel things. So I think now would be a good time to go and pass this on to the chat wall. And I would like to ask you all, how do you all feel about the announcements of the Disney branded television stuff? Which ones from what we have talked about or what has been announced really does stand out for you? Let me know what you all think about this. Okay, let's see. For the TV series, although it is mostly made for Disney Plus, I would say Percy Jackson that I am excited more as I have seen the movies and read the books myself. And with the Adam Project breakout star Walker Scobell starring in the title as the title character, I'm interested in the National Treasure series and the Santa Claus miniseries too, as they have promising concepts featuring some old actors like Tim Allen, for example. Other than that, this is all I'm excited for. Okay. Here's my reactions to panel 3. Muppet Mayhem, Mayhem. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I'm reading the books right now before seeing this. The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. I remember the original series, but I never watched it as much. The Santa Clauses. I love the movie, so I'll get a good kick out of this. National Treasure, Edge of History. Never watched the movie as much, but it looks great. And Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I saw a clip of it, and it looks good, but not great. All right, that's fair. Let's see what other comments would we have here. Honestly, when it comes to Disney Cartoon Works, TVA things could not be more exciting, especially if you've seen the video. It was presented from Dan Povenmire and Jeff Swampy doing what they do best, wrapping out the announcement outside of that, fun moments, shows like Muppet Mayhem, Moon Girl, Povenmire's own Hamster and Gretel, and some others I'm excited for. Others like maybe The Proud Family, Percy Jackson, and other DC show. Oh, other Disney Channel shows. Okay, thank you.
Wrong studio.
Are considered to just pass for me. Okay, guys, you have to say Disney Channel. You cannot just say DC because then my mind would be going somewhere else. Like, if Disney would, I would be shocked if Disney would announce something DC. Like, oh my God, did they actually get Batman Cape Crusader?
Did they actually made the E.T. versus Batman movie?
Oh, yes.
Chip and Dale.
Yes. Oh my God. Let's see. I'll keep this one short, especially since many of these didn't interest me. Louder and Prouder seems like it will go hard, just like the first season. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur looks stylish as hell. Percy Jackson will, at the very least, be better than the 2 Percy Jackson movies. And finally, National Treasure just isn't National Treasure without Nicolas Cage. All right. Yeah, okay, I'll read one more because I guess there's not a whole lot to talk about. I think, oh, okay, I haven't read this one. That's fine. In terms of television, for me, my most anticipated projects are Muppet Mayhem, Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, Percy Jackson, and The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. And with Percy Jackson, I'm really glad we could potentially finally get a good Percy Jackson adaptation, especially how the movies, suck, and the Broadway show was a disaster, which I never ever knew that Percy Jackson Broadway show was a thing. So yeah, that seems to be all the announcements for the TV stuff. Or at least the Disney Plus stuff. Oh, and someone even mentioned that they saw the Muppets in person. Yeah. No, that's always a magical moment. I remember I did that 10 years ago.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, yeah. No, it was one of the best days of my life. But anyways, let's go and move on to our next panel, which is going to be a big one. And trust me, Logan, I think we will have a lot to talk about on this. And that is regarding the Disney parks. Yes, it was actually just yesterday or the day before that we have been recording this, in which they have revealed all the big announcements of what's going to be happening at the Disney parks all around the world. And the first
There's a lot to say here.
Oh, yeah. Strap in, folks.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things to say about this, but continue, Matt.
All right, let's get into the announcements. Now, first of all, they have revealed that the popular fireworks show, Happily Ever After, is going to be coming back. I presume after the whole celebration of Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, once that is over in 2023, they are going to go and bring back Happily Ever After to light up the skies at night on Cinderella Castle. Then afterwards, at Disneyland Paris, there is going to be a new Pixar show called Pixar We Belong Together, which will serve as the grand finale of Disneyland Paris's 30th anniversary. Then afterwards, they talked about a brand new meet and greet character, or they have talked about several in this panel, in which they have mentioned that, it's Jon Favreau who actually announced it, that the Mandalorian and Grogu will be appearing at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland starting this November. Then afterwards, what?
I'm going to be right back, so keep going. I'm going to grab another drink of water and use the bathroom quick, so I'll be right back.
Perfectly fine. Anyways, where the fridge was I? Oh yes, the next meet and greet character, which apparently right next to Disneyland at Disney California Adventure, you'll be able to meet the Incredible Hulk wearing his quantum suit at the Avengers campus. And speaking of Avengers Campus, what could probably be one of the biggest announcements in this panel is regarding the third Avengers Campus ride. But this isn't just any ride. This is going to be the multiverse ride, in which they would promise that guests will go ride all across the multiverse and meet up with every single, maybe not every single, but so many Marvel heroes from across several universes, across several timelines, I guess, from several countries, and like pretty much everywhere and everywhen, where they would go and fight off with this new version of Thanos, who is much older and now is presented like this king of some sorts. So this is a pretty epic ride that they have announced, which will be coming to Avengers Campus soon at Disneyland. And even like they revealed a concept art in which they revealed so many different versions of like Marvel characters. Like you see Iron Man, you see Thor, you see Captain America, you see two Spider-Mans next to each other. You got the What If version, and you got, well, the Tom Holland version. You got She-Hulk, you got the Hulk right here. You got Thor Ragnarok Hulk. You got you got like Miss Marvel. You got all these characters fighting off against this new Thanos. So I'm sure that's going to be a ride that everyone will keep their eye on. Then afterwards, they have revealed that Pacific Wharf will be closing down at Disney California Adventure and will be replaced by San Francisco, in which it will be a more relaxing area in which you can hang out with Baymax, and you can have a place to shop, and you can have a place to go and eat. Then following afterwards, they have revealed that the Paradise Pier Hotel will be evolved into the Pixar Place Hotel, in which it will be entirely Pixar themed. Kind of like what they did with the original Paradise Pier, in which they evolved that into what we know today as Pixar Pier. Then afterwards, they revealed some new downtown Disney District stuff at Disneyland, in which they will include Porto's Bakery and Cafe coming to downtown Disney, as well as a new Chinese restaurant called Din Tai Fung. And that's going to be happening again at downtown Disney District at Disneyland coming soon. Then afterwards, they've revealed at Disneyland there is going to be a new Run Disney, or Run Disney. Well, it's not new. It's actually going to be coming back in 2024. Then after that, they talked about Mickey's Toontown, the upcoming update that's going to be happening in early 2023, with a brand new section where people can go and relax, and kids can go and play with a variety of different houses, from Goofy's to Donald's to Mickey's and whatever, including the brand new edition of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Again, that's going to be happening in early 2023. Then afterwards, they had a big discussion in regards to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, as we all know, as the Princess and the Frog update to Splash Mountain, in which they have revealed that Anika Noni Rose, Bruno Campos, Michael Leon Woolley, and Jennifer Lewis will be coming back to reprise their roles as Tiana, Naveen, Lewis, and Mama Odie, respectively. And on top of that, even during the presentation, Anika Noni Rose even did a special musical number dedicating to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, once again confirming that the ride is going to be opening both at Disneyland and at Walt Disney World in late 2024. So don't worry, you still have time to meet up with Brer Rabbit and the gang at Splash Mountain. Then following afterwards, we're going to Walt Disney World, in which they have some major updates in regards to Epcot. And I'll just read you this part here that will explain a bit more on my source at Disney Parks blog, in which it states, at Walt Disney World Resort, an all-new nighttime spectacular is planned for Epcot during Disney's 100th anniversary celebration. This new show will debut later this year, continuing the park's legacy of inspiring nighttime entertainment on World Showcase Lagoon. Also, the next major milestone in Epcot's multi-year transformation will include the completion of the World Celebration neighborhood in late 2023, featuring a new statue of Walt Disney called Walt the Dreamer, which you've probably seen on social media is Walt Disney pretty much sitting down and admiring the view, in which a lot of people have pretty much made fun of because it just looks like Walt Disney is sitting on the toilet. And then, following afterwards, they've also talked about a new section at Epcot called Journey of Water, in which it's a more an immersive educational experience inspired by Moana, in which it teaches people about the water on the planet, and that is going to be coming soon in late 2023. And then afterwards, the last update that they've made in regards to Epcot is actually about Figment from Journey into Imagination.
Oh, did they announce that there's going to be a brand new ride? Is there going to be an update to Journey into Imagination?
No, Figment, it's nothing like that.
Huh?
You're actually going to be a brand new meet and greet character to meet up with fans.
Wait. I've already done that before.
Well, you're going to be doing it again, starting in late 2023.
Oh, boy!
Yes, so that is another meet and greet character that you can go and meet up. It's actually going to be with Figment. However, Figment is not going to be the only fan favorite character that you will go and meet up in Walt Disney World. Because another major announcement that fans have been freaking out about, or that they let out, well, an appropriate scream, is going to be the Hatbox Ghost. Yes, folks, we got another Hatbox Ghost update in which not only will he be appearing on the big screen as Jared Leto, or that maybe it's the other way around, Jared Leto playing as the Hatbox Ghost, but Hattie over here will be coming to Florida, in which he will be appearing in the Walt Disney World version of the Haunted Mansion in 2023. I believe that should be it in terms of the Disney World updates. Oh, no, wait, actually, that's not true, because they also got an update in regards to the upcoming Tron Light Cycle Run, the anticipated Tron roller coaster, in which it is a clone from Shanghai Disneyland. But they have revealed that the ride is going to be opening at Walt Disney World in 2023, specifically in the spring of 2023. Now, next up, they have revealed a brand new cruise in which it shall be the Disney Treasure, which will be the 6th ship in the Disney Cruise Line fleet. And going into detail of what this one will be about, it states here, all right, there we go, just need to really clear my throat. Imagineers have dreamed up a new design concept inspired by the theme of adventure, celebrating Walt Disney's lifelong love of exploration. The Grand Hall is inspired by the grandeur and mystery of a gilded palace, drawing on real-world influences from Asia and Africa and paying homage to the far-off land of Agrabah. At the center, the signature statue will feature Aladdin, Jasmine, and their magic carpet. And on top of that, there's also a few extra updates in regards to the Disney Cruise Line, where for the first time ever, in late October 2023, the Disney Cruise Line is coming to Australia and in New Zealand. And on top of that, they mentioned how the Disney Wonder is going to be going to the South Pacific, where they will go and stop in places like Fiji and Samoa. And then afterwards, they talked about a brand new destination in the Bahamas, which will be one of the stops at the Disney Cruise Line, called Lighthouse Point, which will be an immersive place that will be inspired by the stories of the Bahamas. So when you're in the Bahamas, they really want you to know that you're in the Bahamas. Get a true Bahamas experience in that one place. All right, so moving right along, we're going to go into the Asian parks, in which in Shanghai Disneyland, they have given us a major update in regards to the upcoming Zootopia attraction. And they even presented a little clip in which the main entrance is actually going to be the Zootopia police station, in which you will be greeted to an audio animatronic of Officer Clawhauser. So we don't necessarily have a release date for that as of yet, but that's also going to be highly anticipated. And also the animatronic clip, like if we're going to talk about that for sure, but that's going to be really exciting to see. That looks really awesome. Anyways, we also got an update in regards to Duffy, the fan favorite teddy bear of the Disney parks, in which they have revealed that Duffy and his friends will be having a brand new stop motion animated series on Disney Plus next year, which will all be, which like I said, it's going to be stop motion and there will be 6 episodes of it. So it's just going to be a short, quick series. Then afterwards, in honor of the 100th anniversary celebration, there is going to be another brand new statue. Not only Walt the Dreamer at Disney World, but there's also going to be another one with Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse sitting on a bench, which will be right next to Cinderella's Carousel in Hong Kong Disneyland. Next up, we got not 1, not 2, but 3 Frozen-themed lands in the international parks. The first of which is going to be at Hong Kong Disneyland, in which it's going to be called World of Frozen, and that's going to be opening in the second half of 2023. Then next up, there is Disneyland Paris, in which they're going to have their Frozen-themed area. And then finally, there is Tokyo Disneyland, or technically at Tokyo Disney Sea, there's going to be that Frozen section in which it will be a part of Fantasy Springs, which not only will feature Frozen, but it will also feature Peter Pan and Tangled. And at Tokyo Disney Sea, they have also revealed a brand new clip showing a new audio animatronic of Elsa. And I can tell you right now, I know there's been a lot of criticisms with the Disney World version in which Elsa had a screen face. But in this one, the animatronic, it's fully natural, no screens on the face, and how they did that animatronic presenting Elsa singing the Japanese version of Let It Go, it's amazing. I think American fans are going to be definitely jealous of the Japanese, of the fact that they're going to have a way better Elsa animatronic than the one at Disney World. And
you got that right.
And to go back a little, oh, you're back, Logan. And to go back,
I'm here. Sorry.
Hello. Anyways, to go back a little bit, at Disneyland Paris, they have also mentioned that there's going to be a new Tangled themed ride, a small one though, that's going to be right next to the right next to the Frozen section at Disneyland Paris. And on top of that, they have also revealed that there's going to be a significant update to the Disneyland Hotel in Paris, to which there are going to be some rooms that will be completely rethemed to some Disney classics, including Cinderella, Frozen, Tangled, Sleeping Beauty, and many, many more. And what a coincidence that you're here, Logan, because they've also mentioned about something that we've talked about last time, which is the Space Mountain update, where in 2024, Tokyo Disneyland is going to be getting their new version of Space Mountain, featuring a brand new story and apparently a brand new experience. And then following afterwards, this is one that a lot of people have talked about, but this is also a little bit controversial because technically nothing has really been announced yet. These are nothing more but blue sky ideas. Nothing has been set in stone. Nothing is official about it. They haven't done anything so far other than to come up with ideas and concept art of it. But apparently, they stated that they want to make some updates around Walt Disney World. Rather it be make a new section right next to Big Thunder Mountain, or make a significant update to Dinoland USA. And there has been a lot of talks of what could that possibly be. Some are saying maybe it's going to be a new land inspired by Coco, by Moana, by Zootopia, and some are saying that it could be like a brand new villain section. But again, nothing is set in stone. They're nothing more but ideas. Nothing has officially been made yet. If there is going to be something about it, then chances are we'll probably hear about it on the next D23 Expo. Then following afterwards, they have mentioned a brand new celebration that's going to be happening starting next year, which is going to be called Disney 100 Years of Wonder, in which all the parks around the world are going to be celebrating it. And on top of that, they will say that there's going to be some brand new decor, some brand new food, some brand new character experiences. Basically, they're going to do a whole bunch of stuff to celebrate the 100 years at Walt Disney World. And finally, as part of those celebrations at Disneyland, there is going to be not one, but two brand new nighttime shows happening. The first one is going to be called World of Color 1 at Disney California Adventure, which will be a brand new version of their nighttime spectacular World of Color, except this time around, they're going to be celebrating the 100 years of all the storytelling that they have done. And finally, they have talked about what's happening at Disneyland, where not only the long-awaited, not only is the fan favorite parade Magic Happens going to be coming back at Disneyland, but there's going to be a brand new fireworks show at Disneyland called Wondrous Journeys, which will be celebrating all 60 Walt Disney Animation Studios movies, going from Snow White all the way up to Encanto. And maybe they could also add in Strange World as well. I don't know, maybe we will see. But yeah, this is going to be a celebration of all 60 of their movies. And with that, that should conclude all the theme park updates. Logan, what do you think about this one?
Again, I don't smoke, but after all this, I feel like I need one. Okay. Something tells me this is probably going to be your longest episode of Animat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, because I want to try my best not to talk too much about what's all been informed here, but I can't make any promises. So I'm definitely going to talk about the ones that interest you the most. I guess before we start on that, do you have much to say about the Disney Cruise Lines? Because honestly, I don't really have much to say about that.
Not really that much. Honestly, I mean,
Okay.
it's another cruise, so okay, cool.
Yeah, we can skip out on that part, but
Yeah.
let's start at the beginning with like the meet and greets.
Yeah, all the
Good,
meet
they're
and greet
cool.
characters. Yeah, we're gonna meet
Yeah,
Grogu.
they're cool.
We're gonna meet Grogu. We're gonna meet Hulk, and we're gonna meet Figment.
I'll admit I'm a little disappointed how they execute the Hulk costume. I mean, don't get me wrong, how he's presented, executed, flawless. Like those movements, how they can execute a big character like that, I really love. I'm just not that big a fan of like him wearing that outfit, you know?
Oh,
like that doesn't say
the wearing the quantum suit.
Yeah, like I think I could be wrong on this, but I think there's a reason why he's wearing that, because I guess they don't have like the full rights to use a Hulk in their theme parks, which is crazy to think because this is not in Florida, this is in California. But I could be wrong on that. But
I don't
no,
think
overall,
so.
like
I don't think that's the case with I don't think that's the case with Florida. I mean, like, keep in mind, California literally has an entire Spider-Man ride. So I don't think it's going to be the same. And I mean, technically at Universal Hollywood, they don't have an actual Hulk ride. So
no.
I think honestly, maybe they're just doing it for like plot purposes, like with the quantum suit, he's not as strong, so he wouldn't crush the guests or something like that. I don't know.
Probably. That's like a nitpick, but overall I'm like really impressed by that. Should they announce that D23? Probably not. They can just like mention that as like an Instagram post or something like that. But speaking of Marvel, holy crap, this new ride. I'm really I gotta say, I'm really impressed by this take as opposed to like their first attempt with like the Quanjon jet thing because you know that the original plan was supposed to be like a Quanjet thing, whereas like you're out in the field and you're like riding your own little hover bike or whatever that thing's called. You know that concept art
Yeah.
by chance?
Yeah, I do remember. Like they mentioned they want to do a big third one that's supposed to be like the main attraction of Avengers Campus, where it's supposed to be like this big Avengers scale battle. So I do remember that.
I mean, I'm not sure what happened to that original idea. I guess like maybe it was like too ambitious, or maybe it was like it's too similar to the Avatar ride. It's hard to say, but this new idea, it shows potential. I mean, just looking at this, I'm just like memorized by like what the possibilities could be. Because you not only get like the live action characters, but you get some animated characters part of it too. Like good example is like you see the two Spider-Man or Spider-Men. Like one's the live action, the other one looks appear to be like the new animated Spider-Man for the new animated series coming up. But judging by like this
I feel like I feel like maybe that could be from like What If.
It
like
could be, yeah.
Yeah, because they also
I mean it's hard to say.
They also have like War Machine. I think that's War Machine. That's also like animated as well.
Yeah, but regardless, like like the I'm liking this approach to the multiverse idea. I mean, granted, it's more like a plug for the current MCU because they're going to the multiverse saga. But hey, I trust Disney with this. I'm sure it's going to be one hell of a ride. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm sure the wait will be worth it.
Yeah, I think that could be. I think that could be the reason why they changed up from the original plans, because like those original plans, they reflect a lot more on like the event, like how the Avengers was at the time. But nowadays, considering we're dealing like with the multiverse and stuff like that, they want to have something that reflects upon that. So I think it's like meant to like really reflect upon the current status of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh yeah, because let's be honest, there's no way they're going to get Robbie Downey Jr. for this. So it makes sense to have like a different alter version of Iron Man to be part of this.
Yeah,
so,
and
just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and apparently someone has clarified it's not War Machine. Apparently that's the Hydra Stomper from What If. Okay.
Oh, okay. So yeah, nice little blend. So yeah, I'm definitely curious about this. San Fran, Tokyo. I never thought of that, but that's, in my opinion, that's brilliant because this is Disney's California adventure.
Yeah.
San Francisco, Tokyo. That makes sense.
It's like somehow we did like a little update to Disney California Adventure, and somehow we ended up like unintentionally going full circle.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that is to me that's brilliant. Granted, it's an IP base, but I don't care. This sounds like because you're combining California and Tokyo, like the possibilities of what the food offerings are going to be like. Like I'm curious about that.
You know, honestly, I'm thinking like I'm not expecting anything like too crazy. I think like they'll have like a place where they're going to recreate on Cass's diner, or not, or her
probably,
cafe. I mean,
yeah.
her cafe.
I remember in the TV series, which I only watched like a few episodes, but they have like this like burger noodle restaurant they usually go to. I doubt they'll go with that route, but it's interesting. It's like you're combining a burger with a noodle, which is, I don't know. If they do that, I'm curious to try it out.
All right.
I mean, granted, there's no new rides, but honestly, hey, it's the atmosphere for this that I'm really intrigued. So it's brilliant, I gotta say. Not much to say about the hotel, so I'm gonna skip past that. Unless you got anything to say about those.
It's a hotel.
Yeah.
We can sleep in a specific theme.
Oh joy. Really quick about the Disney run. I used to do cross country, so I mean, granted, I never participate in any of these, but they sound like fun, so kudos to them.
Could be worth a shot.
Toontown. Oh, what?
It could be worth a shot, but go on. Toontown.
Oh yeah, Toontown. Definitely looking forward to the new updates because this shows so much potential. Mm-hmm. Because yeah, I mean, obviously I'm a Disney fan, but I'm also a huge Mickey Mouse fan. So just like the details with like everything within this land, especially for what they're going to do with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway with the queue, like just all these different references that just, I mean, you got Plain Crazy, you got Mickey's Christmas Carol, you get all these like different references. Grant, okay, for me, if Disney ever referenced Plain Crazy, they got I'm all for it. Because that is technically the first ever Mickey Mouse short.
Of course.
Technically. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Tiana, I'm intrigued. I'm definitely I'm liking the direction they're going with this. I may have mentioned this before that I am sad that Splash Mountain is going to go, but let's be honest, Splash Mountain has seen better days.
Yeah,
when it comes to like the execution.
Yeah.
I mean, granted,
go on.
Yeah, it seems like it seems like they might reuse some of those animatronics, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. Because granted, it saves them lots of money, but at the same time, those animatronics are like decades old. Like they've been around since like the 70s with like America Sings. So it's really, I mean, if they can update them like to today's modern. I mean, if they can like update them perfectly, that's fine. But everything about this, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I feel like it definitely like, I mean, it makes more sense in Disneyland than Disney World to have this ride. But regardless, I'm definitely looking forward to this. It looks to be lots of fun. Princess of the Frog is definitely like a great movie that needs representation in the parks.
Yeah, and not to mention, there's also another extra thing I forgot to mention, but they've also confirmed that in the Disneyland version, there's also going to be a Tiana's Palace restaurant that will also be included. So I guess
awesome.
I think like
that
Disneyland
makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, Disneyland definitely got the upper hand with the restaurant and technically the theming because it is going to be it is going to be at New Orleans Square. So like they really got so they really nailed it there, and I'm personally also really excited. And just like you, I am kind of sad. I am sad a bit that they're gonna we have to say goodbye to like Brer Rabbit and the crew. But then again, it's understandable as to why, especially when like the general public don't really know who these characters are anyways. So you might as well replace them with characters who are more familiar. And with the Princess of the Frog, what?
Oh, I was gonna say it goes like two ways. Like it's either they don't know who they are, or they really know who they are, and they rather not talk about it.
Exactly. So like it would solve several problems if they just replace them with the Princess and the Frog, and also like even seeing like showing some of the things that like are going to be coming up, including there's even this little maquette in which they presented what the ride is going to look like on the outside. And like even a lot of people have even pointed out that like before the big drop, like there's an area where you see like it lights up purple and it already freaks people out because they know exactly what Disney is doing with that. And we could be getting the moment where we're going to be mounting up to Dr. Facilier's curse.
I'm hoping for that, because if they don't do that, that's a huge missed opportunity.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But other than that, like if they don't do that, I'm sure the ride will be still fun regardless. The only thing I'm kind of like, this is not about the ride itself, but the one thing I am curious about is, for Disneyland at least, what are they going to do with Winnie the Pooh? Since basically they're going to, like, is that going to stay, or are they going to get rid of that?
No, I don't think they're going to get rid of that. I mean, I think like they're just going to get rid of Critter Country, and I think with Winnie the Pooh, is it next to just to remind me? Is it next to Fantasyland, or is it next to Frontierland, or is it like
it's more near? Near.
Go on.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say that ride's more near both Frontierland and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, so it's nowhere near Fantasyland.
That's going to be a bit tricky to know how they're gonna do the theming of that. So it's either they would have to get rid of it, or they would have to completely move it to another place. It would have been like the problem would have been solved if it were in Fantasyland, but in this case here, Yeah, I don't know. We will have to wait and see, but that's also going to be another major obstacle that they have to figure out what to do.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll find a solution down the road, but yeah, definitely looking forward to that when the time comes.
Yeah.
Epcot, yeah, there's a lot of things I'm definitely looking forward to. The Moana Journey of Water, that looks really promising. It's not often we get those kind of like attractions for any theme park, really, where you just like walk through and just witness what's happening. So definitely looking forward to that. Figment, what a tease. Oh my God, what a tease. Because you know, okay, so what's funny is like I was watching this live. And once they got to that point, Josh the guy that was in the presentation was mentioning like, so we are aware you guys love this particular character. And as soon as he said it, it's like, oh my God, they're not. Because in my mind, I thought like, oh, they're going to like update the ride. They're going to update the ride because it's been such a long time since they updated it. And then I was waiting for that moment. And then right when he says, that's right, Figment's going to be a meet and greet. I was like, you mother. That's, oh, I mean, granted, I'm happy for a Figment meet and greet, but at the same time, they play it up so much to the point where it's like, I can't help but feel like happily angry about that. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's like probably one of the biggest cock teases, you know? It's like,
exactly.
All right, everyone, we're bringing back Figment. Hold on a sec, where is it? Yes, we're bringing back Figment, everyone. However, there is a catch. We're bringing back Figment as a meet and greet character. So yeah, oh my God, yeah, it's
which
I'm here for cock tease.
Oh man, I mean, granted, I'm curious to know how they're going to execute. I mean, I'm not sure is it going to be like a walk around character or is it going to be like a special animatronic. It's hard to say, but
I don't know.
Definitely looking forward to it.
They have done it before, and I mean, like they did it one of two ways. Like there was the Dreamfinder and Figment, where Figment was a puppet, and there was like a standalone Figment meet and greet character, but he was freaking huge. Like, oh my God,
he was huge.
He was like towering over people.
I was going to say, I vaguely remember seeing him when I went to Disney World one time at a very young age. I didn't meet him. I just saw him from a distance, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, I feel at this point, they're not going to bring back Dreamfinder, or at least not now. It doesn't seem like it.
I don't know.
I mean, it could be a possibility.
It depends if they're willing to spend the money on it, because technically with one, there's one of the stories here that did prove that they can bring back fan favorite characters. I'm just saying that if they're willing to bring back the Hatbox Ghost, not just for Disneyland, but just recently announced for Walt Disney World, then I'm sure that there might be a possibility that maybe Dreamfinder could have a comeback, especially like when he's always been showing up in like merchandises and stuff like that. Like they are aware there is a demand to update Journey into Imagination and maybe bring back the Dreamfinder. But when is Disney going to do it? When are they when are they going to be willing to spend the money on it? That I don't know. I mean, I would love to see that happen. And I mean, it's a lifelong dream of mine to actually be like the official voice of Figment, but I really don't, honestly, it's up to Disney. But I feel like, yeah, it doesn't seem like it now that they would go and do it, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
I agree with you there. And before we continue, let me just say this. Disney, you're aware how popular those damn popcorn buckets were, so just saying. That was a whole mess there.
Oh my God, yeah, that was crazy. All that for a
popcorn bucket.
I wish I could own one, but oh well. Anyways, speaking of Hatbox Ghosts, about time he arrives at Disney World. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah.
Tron. Again, about time. At least when it comes to like a release date for when Tron's going to appear, because yeah, it's been like a while since they've been like working on that, which I understand because not only is construction, but also it was being made around time where COVID happened. That was put on hold. So I'm not one of those people that are upset it took them this long to make it, but I'm sure the wait will be worth it.
Exactly.
We're gonna skip the Disney Cruise, Zootopia.
Oh, yes.
Granted, I'm not sure when I'm going to be going to Shanghai or if I ever will have a possibility to go to Shanghai, but this looks pretty awesome. And going back to what you said about that animatronic, flawless, that definitely captures him.
That looks the Clawhauser animatronic looks beautiful.
Yeah, that is like I like how like there's like so much emotion, especially like there's a moment where his ears falls down. Like I thought that was pretty awesome. And the ride looks like, judging from like the models they have, it looks like it's going to be like a trackless ride, which I'm curious to know how they're going to like pull that off.
We'll see how that goes.
So, I mean, I'm sure like once it's like open, I'm gonna watch a YouTube video of like the POV shot because yeah, I'm at a point where it's like I'm not sure if I go to like any of these places anytime soon. That is, but it's on my bucket list. But my expectations are pretty low about going there in person, but still looking forward to see what they have to offer. Not much to say about Duffy. Duffy's a cool bear. The statue of Walt and Mickey. Oh, the statue is really quick. I know people give crap about that one statue about Walt at Epcot. He looks fine to me. I didn't think much about it. They could have done like a better pose of him. Maybe like the one of like him like this, you know, like that one picture of his hand like this. Least, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. But I mean, like, or at least have one sitting on a bench. Just the way that he's sitting. I mean, he's ready to drop one.
Yeah. Okay, here goes.
Yeah, like he's ready. Yeah, it's like he looks like he's in the toilet, ready to drop a live action remake.
Oh, zing. Yeah. But no, the one for Hong Kong, that makes lots more sense that way.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that one like looks pretty sweet. Like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I forget,
do they? Good.
I don't think they have the regular partner statue at Hong Kong. At least not to my knowledge.
I think they do. I think they might have one.
Okay. I think like yeah, I'm trying to think like I think all the parks at least has something to that degree because I know for Shanghai they have the one from California Adventure where it's like young Walt and young Mickey.
Yeah.
So it's still really cool. The Frozen stuff. I'm going to try to be brief with this because I know we talk about this for so long, but I'll say this. I'm surprised they haven't announced. I mean, granted, we got the ride at Epcot, but you think they'll do something more with like the U.S. parks aside from replacing Maelstrom? Because with all this, it shows potential. But the question is, like, I'm sure, like, I know it's going to be hard for Disneyland because there's like so much space you got to work with in California. But honestly, I'm in no rush for a Frozen Land. I mean, all these look really fine. They look like fun. I don't really see no point on making it at the moment for the U.S. parks. But really quick, going back to the animatronic of Elsa, yeah, I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
Yeah,
because
it looks great.
I'm not one of those people that hate on the face projections. I mean, I find them to be all right, but I get the criticisms, especially if they like were to like have like a like malfunction. They go like the weird like static look to their faces. That I can understand what that can be off-putting for some, but yeah, Tokyo knows what they're doing with their animatronics, and that Elsa, like that and Clawhauser, like those ones just like blew my mind. And to think like what else they have in stores with them. And I gotta say, going really quick on the Tokyo Disneyland or Disney Seas parks, I gotta give them credit for making rides based on like really old classic movies like Peter Pan. Like I got A plus on my book because granted they got Peter Pan's flight in the Tokyo Disneyland still, but with this it's like not only just one but two rides based on Peter Pan, and I'm definitely curious to see where they're going to go with that, and especially for like something like going to be like what seems to be like an Avatar-based ride system by the looks of it. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. So I know we talked a lot about the Space Mountain, so we can skip past that. Okay, the what if.
Oh yeah, the blue sky stuff. Oh boy.
Part of me I'm optimistic. I'm somebody that's like optimistic. I try to think the positive side of things about all this. So for me, part of me is really excited for what they have to offer, but at the same time, it's really hard to say because why if this is going to be like a what if scenario, why even mention it at D23? Like I get the promises there, but at the same time it's like it's probably best just the way to know for sure if it's going to happen, because if you're going to say like, oh, this could happen, this may not happen, like that seems like a big tease for those that are like looking forward to like new projects for Disney. And plus the fact that they can't, I hate to use the words cancel, but they cancel like so many past potential projects in the past. Like, I'm not sure if they officially canceled the Mary Poppins attraction or some of the other stuff, but they say some stuff in the past D23 that they're not fulfilled. So this has me like worried. But again, I know they made it clear that is a what if, but at the same time, like the Figments, it's a big tease, so it's really hard to say.
Yeah, like on one hand, I get what you're saying, because technically they feel like these would technically be some of the most exciting news that would come out of this panel. Like really exciting to hear that Disney World would get these new sections based on like Coco or Moana or the villains or anything like that. But I just feel like they're way too early to talk about. Like you're just going to be building up hype, and you're going to have people creating all these clickbait videos for nothing. And just from there, like you never know what could possibly be the outcome of it all. And as I said before, if any of these would actually happen, we would only hear about them in the next D23 Expo, because so far with how things are looking with like Dinoland USA or whatever's next to Big Thunder Mountain, there's nothing going on. There's no official plans, no construction or no licenses has officially been signed or has officially been begun. It's just too early to say anything about it. And you know that in the future, things are definitely going to go and change. And I mean, it's just like what we've just talked about with, it's like what we talked about with the Avengers ride. Like it started out like something completely different with the Quantum Jets, and now we're getting an entire multiverse ride. So I don't think it's really a great idea to reveal something so early. And like, I think I saw someone in the chat wall mention that, they should have actually announced that in the Imagineering panel instead of this panel right here. Like, yeah, maybe with the Imagineers they could talk about like some possible ideas they could think of, but not in something here where like technically they should be like these big official announcements, because again, this is just really hyping up, like building up hype for nothing. Like, yes, they sound like amazing ideas, but I'm not going to hold my breath that they're actually going to go and happen.
Yeah, and I love these ideas. Like, I love a section based on a Coco, which, funny enough, I would assume like they'll put the Coco attraction in Epcot since they got the Epcot Pavilion, but I'm not complaining. I love myself the Three Caballeros. But no, anyways, yeah, this just shows like so much potential that, like I said, they're hyping up for basically nothing at the moment. And I guarantee you by the next D23, this can be completely different. Same goes with the Dino Land. And even then it's like such a tease because here's the thing about Walt Disney World in particular. They need more attraction. Because when compared to Disneyland, they're set with like attractions. I mean, yeah, they can have like so much more, but they have enough rides to like fill up like the entire like guests. But Disney World, they're definitely lacking on rides. That's why like they don't have like as much to hold like a capacity with like some guests, because it feels like you will be like waiting in lines for like hours unless you don't have Genie Plus and all that stuff. But for me, this shows like there is potential that they could expand, and what potentially they have to offer. I just like love it, and I hate for it to be like, yeah, we thought about this at first, but we'll scrap it. We'll save it for like the next big blockbuster animated film. And it's really hard to say because I'm not one of those people that are like super negative about this and be like, oh, they're just like saying this so they have something to present, blah blah blah. They are not prepared. No, I feel like I trust Disney Imagineering when it comes to like these kind of like projects. I mean, it's called Blue Gallery for a reason. So yeah, I want to be optimistic about these, but at the same time, I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, I would consider. Yeah, I wouldn't even consider them actual news. I'm just gonna say like, let's wait until the next expo and see if any of the if they're actually gonna be real or not.
Yeah.
So, so what
Other
are
than
the
that, the last two things are about the shows themselves, which
other?
they're cool. I'm not much to really say about that. I mean, I don't. I mean, World of Color, I'm definitely a fan of, but when it comes to like the fireworks show, I tend to pass those because they're not really my thing. I mean, they're cool, but they're not my thing.
Oh, all right.
But
You know,
yeah, that was a lot to talk about there.
Oh yeah, they're definitely a lot. I will say, like with the lot, you know, honestly, I'm kind of the opposite. I really do love the nighttime shows. They're like a beautiful finale, like to your day at the Disney parks. So honestly, like I'm excited to see what they would have in store, especially if they're going to be a big celebration of all the animated films and stuff like that. So we'll see. Yeah,
I'm sure they'll be amazing. Because it's like, for me, like if I gotta choose my favorite when it comes to like the late night shows, it'll be World of Color and Fantasmic. So those are the only two I care about.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, they didn't even talk about the upcoming Fantasmic at Disney World.
I was hoping they'll say something, or at least like a release date, because they are doing the rehearsals now, so they're like definitely planning on opening soon. But there is a rumor that they might open in October 22nd, but it's not confirmed. I'm not sure how people knew about that, but don't quote me on that because, like I said, it's just a rumor. So
Yeah, and we'll see.
it could happen, but
Yeah. So, anyways, let's go into the chat wall. And I would like to ask you all, I know there was a lot to talk about, but how do you feel about all the theme park updates? Which one of them have really stood out for you? And which one of them do you really want to see the most? Let me know what you all think about this.
yeah, I'm just a huge theme park fan, so I gotta go all out on that.
I see. All right. Anyways, here's my reaction to panel 4. The Mandalorian and Grogu, can't wait to meet them. The Multiverse Ride, I'm getting chills from the announcement. San Francisco, can't wait to give Big Max a big hug. Pixar Palace Hotel, will there be Pixar characters in there? Tiana's Bayou Adventure, are you ready? Tron Light Cycle Run, I'm interested, count me in. Duffy and Friends, I never actually saw these characters in Disneyland before. And Zootopia, I hope they build one in Walt Disney World. All right. Given, go on.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say Duffy did appear briefly at Epcot, but he didn't last long.
Yeah.
They're just not as popular in America.
Oh, well, they tried. Given that Disney as a company is turning 100 next year, a new fireworks show to honor the legacy of all those animated films should be a fitting way to celebrate that milestone. Another thing about this panel is that I have seen Big Hero 6, so the San Francisco retheming looks cool to me, and we even came up with California, Japan, and Osaka, Vegas. Also, Figment meet and greet. Now, not what I have in mind, but let's go. All right, let's see. For me, my favorite theme park announcements are Mandalorian and Hulk meet and greets, Avengers Campus Multiverse Attraction, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, the new Zootopia area, and the Epcot updates. However, one announcement I'm surprised they didn't announce actually was the updates about the Disney World version of Fantasmic and a reopening date, considering they have a reopening for the Disneyland version for several months now. All right. It's my dream to visit as many amusement parks in my lifetime as I can, and Disney parks are no exception to my dream in life. And I definitely say I'm more excited for the Splash Mountain retheme, especially after I said my goodbyes to Brer Rabbit and the gang last summer for my birthday vacation at Disney World, which was also my first time ever at the Disney park. So interesting that for my trip, I had to say goodbye to an iconic but desperately in needing of an update ride, as racially sensitive as that. Okay.
Oh yeah, I did actually say my goodbyes to Splash Mountain last year when I went to Disneyland, and I definitely made the best out of it. That was like probably like the best Splash Mountain experience I had. Not because like I have like fun people to ride with, and also near the end when we did like the pictures, I was like showing off my guns here. So it was fun. I gotta say, like, if I'm making it my last ride at Splash Mountain, I gotta make the best photo op.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see. For Parkside, I am more hyped up with what Disneyland has in store for Disney's 100th anniversary, including decorations, food, fireworks shows, and an addition of World of Color. Hyped up for the new Marvel Multiverse ride, curious for San Francisco and Runaway Railway. Disney World expansion and new additions look promising. Looking forward to the Princess and the Frog ride. All right, people. I just gotta say this. Thank you all for joining me for this long, but now it is time that we are into the grand finale, and I've certainly saved the best one for last, because of course, this is Animat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, and we cannot walk out of this without talking about the animation updates. Yes, we're going to go back into my first article from D23, and we are going to be looking into the big announcements from both Pixar and Walt Disney Animation Studios. And first off, we are going to go and talk about Pixar. And the first thing that Pixar has talked about is regarding their next animated feature, Elemental, which will be directed by Peter Sohn. Now, this one is going to be coming out next year on June 16th, 2023, and they have discussed about the main characters, Ember and Wade, in which they will be voiced by Leah Lewis and Mahmoudou Athie, in which apparently there have been some discussions about it. I know a lot of people are not necessarily huge fans about the concept, but so far I've honestly heard that apparently the reception, seeing this in action, seeing them, like seeing clips and seeing the movements and stuff like that, apparently has been highly praised so far. So that's going to be coming soon from Pixar. Then afterwards, they had a discussion about Pixar's first ever long-form series, Win or Lose, to which they had a bit of a discussion and even revealing that Will Forte is going to be among the cast, being the voice of Coach Dan. And this series will be coming out later in the fall of 2023. And then afterwards, they talked about not one, but two Pixar films coming out coming out in 2024. And thank you, Jonathan, for the subscription there. But the first one they talked about was Elio. And in this one, I'll go and read from my source here on D23. As it states here for the plot, in the story, 11-year-old dream. Hold on. There's more that I need to go and highlight. An 11-year-old dreamer, Elio, is artistic, creative, and has an avid indoorsman who finds it hard to fit in. Meanwhile, mom, Olga, who runs a top-secret military project, is working to decode a strange signal from outer space. But it's Elio who makes contact, gets beamed into space, and is suddenly mistaken for an intergalactic ambassador from Earth. Now, this one is actually going to be directed by the Coco co-director Adrian Molina, and Elio will be released in the spring of 2024. But among all the announcements that has happened at D23, the biggest one of them all is actually the fact that we're getting a sequel to not just any Pixar movie, but to Inside Out. Yes, Inside Out 2 is officially going to be happening. Not directed by Pete Docter. Instead, it will be directed by Kelsey Mann. But it has been confirmed that Amy Poehler is coming back as the voice of Joy, and writer Meg LaFauve will be returning to go and write the script. And this has officially been confirmed that this will be released, I believe, in June of 2024. Then, following afterwards, we got the Walt Disney Animation Studios announcements, in which Jennifer Lee, the chief creative officer, came in to discuss about what's going to be happening, especially to go and celebrate the studio's 100th anniversary. This isn't just this isn't just the celebration for the whole company, but it's especially for the animation studio. The first thing that they have talked about is in regards to Zootopia Plus, the upcoming short-form animated series, in which they have revealed it's not going to be a sequel, but a midquel, in which it shows the events of certain characters, what they have been doing while there have been some events that have happened during Zootopia, and they have confirmed that's going to be coming out on November 9th. Following afterwards, we got Disney's long-form animated series Iwaju, in which that's going to be coming soon to Disney Plus in 2023, and even has given us a little bit of a plot line to which it states the coming-of-age story introduces Tola, a young heiress from the wealthy island, and her best friend Coley, a self-taught tech expert and loving son from the mainland, in which it will be a massive love letter to Lagos and Nigeria. Then, following afterwards, they have talked about Strange World, Disney's next animated feature, to which, even though we didn't get a new trailer of it, apparently D23 guests did receive a trailer to know a bit more of what is happening with the film, in which that's going to be coming out on November 23rd. And last but not least, what could possibly be the biggest announcement of them all at this year's D23 Expo, it is going to be the animated film after Strange World, in which it is called Wish. Now, they have revealed that this is going to be the biggest thing that is going to be coming out in honor of the studio's 100th anniversary, in which Wish is going to be a brand new animated musical, in which it will be starring Ariana DeBose playing as the main character Asha, and will have a little goat named Valentino, which of course will be voiced by Alan Tudyk. And on top of that, it will be directed by Chris Buck and Fawn Veerasunthorn, to which the movie will actually be about the origins of the wishing star. Like, how did that come to be, and how do we know, how did the wishing star get its reputation? And on top of that, they have also revealed that there is going to be a very unique art style with the animation, to which it will be similar to Spider-Verse and The Bad Guys, where it will be mixing traditional CG with a 2D watercolor look. And on top of that, Ariana DeBose also came in to go and sing one of the songs called More for Us. And that's going to be coming out in November of 2023. So, Logan, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on all the animation news that we got?
Kudos to Disney Animation. I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to every single one of these, because I feel like Disney's animation has a lot of potential, and they've been like nailing it lately. Granted, there have been like a few hiccups here and there, but for the most part, whether it be like Disney Animations or Pixar, they're just doing a phenomenal job lately with their films. So we might as well like go ahead and like talk about like each one. Elemental. I can't say that. Elemental. That one looks pretty promising. I don't quite understand the hate for this film. I mean, it looks fine to me. It definitely has like potential. I just don't understand.
Sorry.
What'd you say?
I think the hate from it is from the fact that there was an indie game that has a very similar concept of a fire character and a water character working together. So, like, a lot of people are just accusing Disney of like plagiarizing and just copying other people's ideas. And not to mention that a lot of people are just tired of like the Pixar cliche of like, oh, what if this thing has feelings? And this one is like, what if the elements have feelings? So from there, people think that, like, just from hearing the concepts, many people are not necessarily a fan of it, but apparently though, like from what they've seen in the clips, it's been very well received.
Well, that's good to hear. And I get that argument is like, oh, it's like typical Pixar, but hey, that's what makes Pixar great. They'll take like something and make it. I much prefer them making more original films than doing like sequels or spin-offs, because I'm not going to get into like that, but let's just say like they should probably just stick to original stuff. But we'll talk about the inside stuff later. But win or lose, that, I mean, I'm curious to see how they're going to pull off like a TV series. I mean, granted, they had that Buzz Lightyear animated series back in the 2000s, but that wasn't really Pixar.
That wasn't that wasn't Pixar. That was just from their TV division.
Yeah, but seeing this in their first like original like TV series, I'm curious. Granted, baseball is not my thing, but it's Pixar. I'm sure it's going to be phenomenal regardless. So I'm curious to watch that. So, do you have any thoughts on that?
I'm honestly very interested on it. I really do like the concept because technically it's going to be all about this one plot line about a baseball game, and it's going to show like the perspective of all the different characters. I'm very intrigued to see what they have in store, especially the fact that it is from Pixar and how they're going to tackle how they're going to officially tackle a TV series. I'm honestly down for it. I'm interested to see what they have in store.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Elio, definitely has potential there. Not much really to say about it. I mean, it looks cool. It's another Pixar movie with the main lead character's name on it. Yeah, not much to say about it, but it definitely has potential.
I think I think there is some promise. I mean, like it is original, it is new, and like maybe Pixar can find a way to like really go and make this work. And considering it is from the co-director of Coco, then maybe there could be a way that they could really go and make this emotional as well. So I mean, you never know. I mean,
Oh
like
yeah,
like you could say the same thing about Turning Red, and that turned out to be fantastic. So I'm gonna be optimistic for this one.
true that. We'll just hope that people don't complain about this film like they did with Turning Red and to let's extend Luca.
Yeah,
But
true.
we'll see. Inside Out 2. Okay, I mentioned before that I could care less about Pixar sequels. This one does have some potential, not gonna lie. Mainly because if Pixar were to make a sequel to any of their films, Inside Out makes a whole lot of sense because they're gonna go through because it does make sense. Like they're gonna go through Riley's teenage years, which
Mhm.
let's face it, we all have our moments as teenagers. We can be either cringy or very like not right in the head. But hey, that's teenagers. We do stupid things. So I'm curious to see how they're gonna like pull this off. And I definitely have like high hopes for this one. Will it be as good as the first one? I mean, I doubt it, but I mean, it could surprise me. Like, it definitely has potential.
Yeah, for me, I would say I'm very cautious. I'm cautiously optimistic because on one hand, I love Inside Out. I think it's honestly one of the best animated features of the last decade. Such a phenomenal film, a great concept, and beautifully executed. And I really do like the concept, like the idea that they do have with, going into Riley's teenage years and seeing like how the emotions are going in Riley's head there. Like honestly there's a lot of potential. I could see this really working out. But then again, the fact that it is going to be a sequel and not necessarily from Pete Docter has me a little bit worried that there might be that chance that things might not work out well or that it's not going to be as good as the original. So it has me a little bit worried, and I wouldn't be surprised if it would be a case where 2024 might end up becoming like this year where previously the hype was all for Lightyear, but it turns out that the Pixar film a lot of people were obsessing over was actually Turning Red. So it could be like this year where Inside Out might not meet expectations and people will like really be loving Elio. That could be the case, but I don't know. Like for me, again, it's just being a little like I'm being cautious, but I'm still very excited for it. And also, it is worth mentioning. It's worth mentioning that I have heard a rumor that I'll say it now. I don't necessarily believe it, but allegedly Amy Poehler received a very good pay for it, like $5 million to come back as Joy with extras, and everyone else they were paid laughably poorly, like so bad, like only $100,000 just to do their voices. And it was so bad to the point that apparently Mindy Kaling and Bill Hader quit the project and won't be returning as Disgust and Fear respectively. I don't think any of the personally, I don't think any of these would be true, but would you believe these rumors?
I did see somebody make a TikTok about that, and I feel like, oh, that can't be true. But now that you mention it, I'm because both those actors do have very unique voices that I'm sure will come across as like noticeable. Because I think back to Ralph Breaks the Internet, where Mindy does not reprise her role as Taffeta. Taffeta, is that her
Taffeta,
name? Yeah. She did not. She did not reprise her role with that, and I guess it's not that noticeable. But at the same time, I guess we'll have to wait and see because I don't know. Their voices are definitely unique. That I can't really think of anybody else that could play Fear as well as Bill Hader or discuss Mindy Kaling as discuss. But I'm hoping they're false, but we'll see.
Well, I just don't really believe that is true because, like, I don't think Amy Poehler like is in a higher level of popularity or like her stardom is bigger than Mindy Kaling or Bill Hader. Like, I don't know.
No, not like it used to.
Yeah, I still feel like they're kind of on the same level to this day. And especially like when it comes to Bill Hader, like he's still relatively popular and still highly acclaimed as both an actor and a filmmaker, especially with the Barry series. And not to mention that he still has a very good relationship with Disney and Pixar. Like he's still doing voiceover work for them. And just recently he was in Lightyear where he played the recruit. Like he played the new guy, like the big, the one with the goo eyes that Buzz Lightyear had to save.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, that was Bill Hader, believe it or not.
Oh, I did not know that. Interesting. But yeah. Overall, Inside Out 2, curious. Definitely looking for, out of all the sequels, that one I'm more curious about, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Zootopia Plus. Cute idea. We'll just see how that plays out. I'll definitely watch them. I'm sure. I mean, they're short, so I can like easily breeze them all within a day. So it sounds like a fun idea.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's their animated shorts, and so far they've been great so far. Like, I love Baymax, I love Doug Days, so maybe this one will be a lot of fun too.
Oh yeah, Baymax was really fun. I had fun with that. Okay, I'm gonna butcher this so badly. Iwaju.
Iwaju, I think. I just say Iwaju.
Iwaju. Gotcha, that. It's definitely curious to see how this is going to play out because this is like, it's not often you see like Disney do these kind of like collaborations with their animations. I mean, I don't know much about the other company, but judging from the concept art, it looks pretty legit. And I feel like this will be something very special. It kind of, in a lesser extent, it kind of reminds me of that one project that was, what was that one? It's like Walt Disney himself collab with that one artist.
Salvador. You mean Destino? Yeah, Destino.
Destino, that's it. Yeah, it kind of gives me that kind of vibes where it's like you got like this big collaboration of like these two different art forms. So I'm very curious to see how this will be played out. So, definitely looking forward to it.
All right. And for me, I'm kind of the same thing. Like, I'm optimistic for it, but like, I really don't know what to expect because like this definitely is new territory for Disney. So we'll wait and see how it goes. But I wouldn't be surprised if this turns out to be like a pretty good show.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely watch all the episodes. I'm not sure how long each one's going to be, but I'm going to guess it might be like, with the other stuff, like 8 minutes or less. But
no, they actually said a long form series, so I wouldn't. So this could be like half an hour each.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, we need more shows like that for Disney Plus. Like, granted, I love all the other animated stuff they have, but they seem too short. But that's just me.
I get what you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean because like they are the official animation studios, and most of the people are at work on the movies. So, like, I guess they don't have, like, enough of them to go and make a proper TV show. But, like, now they're starting to. I mean, like, especially next year, which I'm surprised they didn't announce or mention it. But, like, we are going to get the Moana series, and we're also going to get the Tiana series.
Oh, yeah. The Tiana one I'm definitely curious about. Like, are they going to stick to hand-drawn?
I think so. I think they're sticking with hand-drawn.
Yeah, but, yeah, definitely looking forward to those. Strange World, that's coming up really soon. This will definitely be the first film that I'm curious because, especially with this is going to be the first film with the new logo.
Yes.
So it'll be really cool it's going to be really awesome to see that in the big screen.
Did you see the new logo that was leaked online?
I have.
I love it.
That's definitely It is so awesome. It definitely screams Disney, right from the first thing you see, like from the wishing star to the train. Yeah, that definitely, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I
But
love
as
it.
for this movie, as for the movie itself, Strange World, I mean, I, I feel like I'm gonna love the environment more than the people. I mean, I feel like the cast will be all right, but nothing screams memorable with these characters except for that little blue thing. I don't know what that is, but I love
But what about Doggo? There's Doggo.
the dog is cute. I mean, he looks like a Alex interesting Max from Little Mermaid, but that's just me. I'm sure he'll be a standout.
Yeah, he'll be a standout star for sure. But again, I'm honestly surprised we haven't got like a public trailer out of it.
I mean, we did get a trailer beforehand, but I mean, I didn't really.
But I mean, like
It's
with all
not
the
much.
announcements like from this year, I'm surprised we didn't even get like anything that actually pops out as like, oh, here's the trailer for Strange World. I thought they would definitely do that.
Yeah. I guess you're right. It will make sense, but I guess like since that movie is coming out like no, they did showcase trailers for Hocus Pocus 2, so that is weird. So,
Yeah.
but alrighty, the last
And
one, and
the
I gotta
Wish. Oh boy.
yes, I gotta say, definitely going out on a bang because out of all the things they announced at D23 overall, this is the one I'm definitely hyped the most because man, what a way to celebrate 100 years of Disney because this is just it makes total sense they would make a film like this because I never really thought to if I were to go to Disney and like pitch them like a movie, I would never think why not make a movie based off the wishing star that you see in like some of the Disney films. Like
Mhm.
I would never thought of that. And this idea, yeah, this is like a great film to celebrate 100 years because it makes total sense and it looks very promising just from the concept alone.
Oh yeah, and I gotta say, honestly, hearing the concept and everything, it is honestly the most Disney thing that I've ever heard of. Like, how
It
could
is
it
definitely
be?
Disney.
Yeah, like how could it be more Disney than making an animated musical about the wishing star? And honestly, on that alone makes it very much exciting. And especially like how there's a lot of it that feels like already a great success. It's already being built up as like a major hit right there, and what could probably be the standout animated film of 2023. Like you got Chris Buck, who has already established himself as a wonderful director. You got a great cast with Alan Tudyk and Ariana DeBose. And by the way, have you heard of the song that she sang? Like they actually they actually did play it
I
like
also-
online.
Gotcha. I only listened to it like a little bit, but not the full thing. But from what I heard, it does sound very nice.
Oh my god, it is so good. And I'm just gonna say right now, there could be a chance that we might get the next Frozen. I would not be surprised that this would become a phenomenon, especially like with
By the
that
looks of-
musical number. It's so good.
Yeah, by the looks of it, it definitely does seem like it. Because we should talk about the animation. Like what they're gonna do with it. This has potential. Like I know they mentioned in the past, like they're gonna do something what they did with the Paperman short, like that kind of like style. And I remember like when that short was first released back in 2012, they're gonna say like, yeah, we could make a film. We're trying to like push and make like a feature film out of this animation, but we still got a long way away because that talk it's so advanced for the animation. And I feel like we're at a point where they're ready to do this as a full length animated film with that style. And hey, I'm all for it. It's like combining the 2D and the 3D into one to make it like, and that's another thing too that makes it special for 100 years because it combines the legacy of animation from both hand drawn and computer animation. So that's what makes it even more special.
Oh yeah, like if they're able to pull off what they have done before with Paperman, imagine what they can do now with Wish, especially now that like their technology is way more advanced than it was a decade ago, and how this style has already been proven again and again to be a surefire hit and to be an immediate fan favorite, especially after Spider-Verse and after The Bad Guys, and even after like some of the trailers we have seen with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I can imagine with Wish, they can definitely go and do that. They can nail that immediately. And especially with Disney, I can totally see how they can go and put in like their own twist very well.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, like I said about those previous films, like I'm definitely liking this age of combining. Like I definitely like it where the 3D animation has like this artistic style that makes it feel like it's like hand drawn in a way.
Mhm.
I really appreciate that. And yeah, overall, like I definitely approve of a second Black Princess. So I think she's gonna be a princess.
I don't know if they have confirmed that. Maybe, but hold on. Let me just double check on my source just to. I don't know if they mention an optimist. No, they only mention she's an optimist with a sharp wit who cares endlessly about her community. So maybe
I wouldn't be
but
surprised
I
if
don't
they do make. Yeah, but either way, I wouldn't be surprised if they do add her to the Disney Princess lineup soon, or when that film is released.
know. Yeah,
But
probably.
yeah, there's that. Yeah, there's that. The goat looks cute. The witching star looks promising. Yeah, overall, I'm just loving this idea, and I'm definitely looking forward to it when it was released in theaters. So
Yeah.
I'm hyped.
Oh yeah, I'm honestly, I think out of all the announcements, I think it's Wish that I am the most excited for.
Yeah, pun intended, but here's wishful thinking that this film will be
Exactly.
awesome.
Yes, so now let's go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, what do you think about the animation announcements that we've had so far? Which ones are you the most excited for, or which ones are you the most curious for? Let me know what you think. Let's see now. Elemental, damn, Fireboy and Water Girl from Cool Math Games sure got an upgrade. Win or lose, it's about time that Pixar actually makes a TV show. Elio, it looks like it has some potential at least. Inside Out 2, time to press the puberty button. Wish, I hope that this is the start of Disney experimenting with their visuals, similar to what DreamWorks is doing. Strange World, I do fear that this will fail like many of Disney's other sci-fi movies like Treasure Planet and Atlantis. All right.
I don't know if I'll say it'll fail. Maybe like not in like the memorable sense, but I'm sure like it'll make a good profit. It won't be like Frozen or Kanto or anything like that. It'll be like a nice little like film regardless. Because Disney is doing a pretty good job with their animated films when it comes to like I want to say box office and numbers from Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think maybe it will do fine. I don't think it's going to be that bad. For
Nah.
Pixar, I'm excited to see Elio, optimistic with Elemental, and being cautious with Inside Out 2, given Pixar's track record when it comes to doing sequels. A mixed bag with Pete Docter not directing as a factor too. For Disney Animation, Wish and Iwaju got me excited to check it out the most, so I hope the projects will be great for Disney and its 100th anniversary next year. So on with the new Disney logo, can't wait. All right. Elemental, to ship or not to ship, Ember and Wade. Elio, cute, Inside Out. As much as people complain about how many sequels Pixar had in 2010s, it's interesting to realize the actual gap between them being around a decade. Inside Out sequels gap is actually pretty standard for Pixar with 9 years. Hell, Cars is probably the most consistent with the sequels, but it's still a 5-year gap. Wish sounds like a really sweet and interesting story. Iwaju sounds awesome as well. Let's see. Here's my reaction to panel 5. Elemental, this kind of reminds me of Fireboy and Water Girl game, except they're gender swapped. Win or lose, I'm really looking forward to Pixar's first original series. Elio, wow, another one of another out of this world Pixar film. Inside Out 2, anyone getting a good feeling about the sequel? Zootopia Plus, as a fan of the movie, I'm getting really pumped up for this one. Iwaju sounds Wakanda-ish. And Wish, when you wish upon a star. All right, let's see. I was in the animation panel with my friends, including Rachel from Rachel's Reviews in person, and we were hyped for the animation stuff the most. My most anticipated film in that panel was Disney Animation's Wish and all of the Pixar films. Seeing Chris Buck and Ariana DeBose on stage was just absolutely magical. After the panel, I met Chris Buck twice the next day, and I was gushing about his next film. All right. Let's see now. Out of all the panels at this year's D23 Expo, Walt Disney Animation Studios and Pixar had to be the best. I can't think of a project that I am not excited about. The Disney Plus shows look promising, and I am looking forward to the upcoming movies from both studios, especially Strange World, Elemental, Elio, and Wish. As for Inside Out 2, while it is another Pixar sequel, I will still give it the benefit of the doubt. Overall, this panel was just great. A great reminder of why I love both Disney and Pixar. All right, I think I'll read one more before we cap this off. Let's see. All right, for me, my most anticipated animated projects are Strange World, Wish, Elio, Zootopia Plus, and my most anticipated project is without a doubt Inside Out 2. In my opinion, out of all the Pixar films, Inside Out is one that has the most potential to have a sequel to help expand the world of Inside Out. So overall, I definitely think Disney animation announcements were the best thing to come out of D23, and I can't wait to see these projects in the future. And with that said, that should do it for our epic episode of the D23 Expo. Logan, thank you so much for joining me on this amazing adventure. And before we go, could you remind people where they can go and find you on the internet?
Oh yeah, thank you for inviting me again, Matt. This is definitely a fun one. A really fun one given the length of this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, if you're new and you want to follow me, I do have Twitter. You can follow me under ToucanLDM. I also got a YouTube channel that at the moment I'm not posting right now a lot, but very soon, can't give a good date, but very soon I'm going to release something very special down the road. Ooh. So expect this. So if you're curious about that, subscribe to my channel, and then yeah, you can also hear the news about it once I make it. You'll hear about that on Twitter. So those are like the main two things I want to plug in. But yeah, again, thank you for having me on board, Matt. It's definitely a really fun one.
Hey,
definitely going to drink lots. I'm going to drink lots of liquid tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's a lot of talking to be done.
Exactly. You got a lot out of your system. And also, thank you all so much for listening, and thank you all so much for watching. And also, do not forget that if you would like to watch Animat's Crazy Cartoon Cast live without any interruptions on Twitch, then don't forget to go and subscribe. Also, don't forget to subscribe to me on the Animat's Crazy Cartoon Cast YouTube channel, and to follow me on whatever podcast service you're listening to me on, whether it be on Google Play, Spotify, iTunes, or whatever. So if all that's said and done, I hope you all have a magical day. Thank you all so much for listening, and thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, see you later, dudes.
See you later, y'all.